The following is a special holiday presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Party time is over, or is the fun just beginning? Bowl week turns to a work day. Time for another memorable Capital One Bowl. Darren McFadden is the nation's most explosive back. The Heisman runner-up is one of the fastest and strongest hogs in history. And today, he starts his 2007 Heisman campaign here in Orlando. For Wisconsin, P.J. Hill is the next in line of great Badger backs. The kid from Queens has made Madison his own and has proven he knows how to play Big Ten power football. The country's freshman of the year is nearly impossible to stop and will go over, around, or through anything in his path. Senior quarterback John Stocco looks to end his Wisconsin career with one more big win. Today, it's the Big Ten and the SEC. Power and speed, Wisconsin and Arkansas. Coming up next. A sea of red in Orlando, no matter which team you're cheering for. Welcome to ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl, featuring the Badgers of Wisconsin from the Big Ten and the Arkansas Razorbacks of the SEC. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Orlando. You know, in the preseason, neither of these teams was even on the radar. They were tied for 31st in the country, not even in the top 25. Here they are now, an SEC West champ and a team that finished tied with Michigan for runner-up in the Big Ten. Two great running attacks. Darren McFadden, you all know about him, runner-up to the Heisman Trophy, over 1,500 yards. P.J. Hill, the freshman of the year for Wisconsin. Between the two, 32 touchdowns on the season. With that in mind, I bring in my partner. Happy New Year, Bob Greasy. You know the defenses are going to be geared to stop the run, and the quarterback could come into play.
And Wisconsin gets their quarterback back, John Stocco, after missing the last two games of the season. I like the way he manages the game. He refuses to lose. He's making his 36th start of the year. I think he's going to have a big game. He has to, because they're going to be geared to stop the run.
For folks that haven't seen Arkansas, a little unique on offense.
40 years I've been doing this. I've never seen an offense quite like this one. It's to say the least, when they take the quarterback out and bring in a running back, their offense gets more dangerous.
Everybody talks about Darren McFadden. I'm sitting at the Capital One Bowl luncheon yesterday. Brett Bielema, the head coach of Wisconsin, saw the highlight film. He saw number 25, Paul, and he said, that's the guy that worries me.
Running back Felix Jones. He's gained over 1,000 yards this year. He averages 7.3 yards per carry. That's fourth in the nation. He has 4 touchdowns rushing, 3 touchdowns pass receiving. He'd run a kickoff return back 100 yards for a touchdown. You know the other thing that you have to worry about, Wisconsin? He's on the field 50% of the time with McFadden. Thank you.
Well, Wisconsin's defense will be geared to stop both those teams. Wisconsin number 3 in the country in defense. Here comes the SEC Coach of the Year and the SEC Western Champion, Arkansas Razorbacks. Seasons they weren't in a bowl game, so here they are in a big one, and they're proud to be here. Let's head down. 4th member of our broadcast team in the end zone. Look out, Aaron Andrews. Here come the Badgers.
Brad, heading into the season, many questions surrounding the Razorbacks and Badgers program. For Arkansas, their head coach, Houston Nutt, he was on the hot seat after 2 losing seasons. What would happen to him? And for Wisconsin, Barry Alvarez, a legend, retired, and many people were asking just who is this new coach, Brett Bielema, getting ready to take over. Well, both these teams, as they get set to go today, as you mentioned, Arkansas, SEC West champions, and the Badgers, oh, by the way, they only lost 1 game under that rookie coach. Both Nutt and Bielema named coaches of the year in their respective conferences. So, Brad, as we get set to start the new year, I think all those questions were answered.
You better watch yourself. Some of those Badger offensive linemen are coming across your path. There's the SEC Coach of the Year. On the other side, the Big Ten Coach of the Year, as Aaron talked about. SEC and Big Ten coming up. First, let's send it out to John Saunders. John?
Brad, a happy new year to you and these happy fans here getting ready for the Rose Bowl. And it's going to be a terrific one, USC against Michigan. I'm joined, of course, by Craig James and Doug Flutie. This one has the feel of a national championship game because both of these teams were that close to playing for it.
Well, it is the Rose Bowl. I mean, you know, what else could you need to say? It's the Rose Bowl. This is a football game where both of these football teams believe they could be national champions, but they're playing for the Rose Bowl championship right now. Yesterday at the kickoff luncheon, Michigan players come in. They've got the old suit and tie on, and they're all buttoned up. USC comes in with Pete Carroll, jacket, no tie. They're in suits. They're relaxed. But I guarantee you this, when these teams walk out on this football field today, it will be intense. They'll be the same. Which team can execute? That's the difference.
Yeah, we get to see two of the most physical teams in college football, and it is the Rose Bowl. If you grow up around the Pac-10 or the Big Ten, this is the ultimate goal. So these teams are fired up to be here. I'm excited to be here. It's my first time to Pasadena to the Rose Bowl. I'm excited about this matchup.
It's going to be a terrific matchup, and that's going to cap off the day because there's a couple other games underway right now, and we'll, of course, have the Capital One Bowl. But Tennessee facing Penn State in the Outback Bowl. Joe Pa, of course, watching it, but Anthony Morelli, 2-yard touchdown pass to Andrew Corliss.
You know, I thought Morelli really needed to start well for them. Penn State's offense has been up and down. The defense is what they hung their hat on, but look at this. Penn State's defense is terrible here. Coker with a touchdown run. That's absolutely ridiculous defense. Get to the football and tackle.
10-10 the score at that game. In the Cotton Bowl, Auburn facing Nebraska. Nebraska running on to the field proud. Brandon Jackson, 20-yard run to tie the game.
Yeah, Nebraska's walked the ball up and down the field the entire first half. It's 2 costly turnovers by Nebraska that's keeping Auburn in the game.
All right, the Capital One game is coming up next, and in this one, it's an interesting game. Wisconsin against Arkansas, 2 teams that were nowhere even thought of playing on a New Year's Day bowl game at the start of the season. What do you see as the key?
I think the key is the quarterbacks. I think, you know, when you look at Arkansas, Casey Dick, Mitch Mustaine, they've been flipping back and forth all year. The guy that has to make a statement today, both are going to play, has to come to the forefront. Casey Dick will get the start, but Mustaine will play. And it's going to be very interesting. Once McFadden goes at quarterback, that's when they light it up.
You know what? This is a show-me game. This is a show-me game, really, for both schools. Arkansas's had the SEC championship, but now you've got Wisconsin, where they've got Brett Bielema and a football program that wants to show why they're 11-1, why they should be playing in a BCS championship game. This is a good football team that really has to come out and play well today. John Stocko's the key. P.J. Hill behind the ball.
Remember, Wisconsin's only loss was to Michigan. So coming up next, it will be the Capital One Bowl. Arkansas facing Wisconsin. You're watching ESPN on ABC.
This ESPN production is available on ABC HD, presented by Olivia. Moments ago, the coin toss on the field. John Finneran, the Executive Vice President of the Capital One Bowl, with the toss with our referee, Dennis Hennigan. The officials are from the Big East. John with a toss. Wisconsin wins it. And they deferred. So that means Taylor Melhoff's got it teed up for the Badgers of the Big Ten. And maybe the most dangerous kickoff return duo in the country are right there. Felix Jones and Darren McFadden. Capital One Bowl. Happy New Year from Orlando. Here we go. Line drive. It'll be scooped up at the 12. And it's McFadden. And Darren's got it out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. That'll bring out quarterback Casey Dick. He's the starter. We'll see both quarterbacks, but Casey will set the offense for the Razorbacks.
66, Tony Hugo, Remington finalist center, Jonathan Louigs, the real Ocho Cinco, Marcus Monk, receiver, Heisman finalist, Darren McFadden, number 5.
He's got the Ocho Cinco thing working for Marcus Monk, his 6'6" wide receiver. But the people will watch, they say, are the 5s. And that's Darren McFadden, number 5, Felix Jones, number 25, and Marcus Monk, number 85. First down for the Razorbacks. Play action. Dick wants to go deep down the middle. Overshot his intended receiver, Robert Johnson. So Arkansas's had a month to prepare, and they said, you want the run? We'll give you the pass. Let's check the Capital One defense for you. And Mark Zalewski of Wisconsin does the honors.
Defensive line, we have the leader up front, Joe Monty. The other 2 linebacker spots are held down by my partners in crime, DeAndre Levy and Jonathan Casillas. And locking it down in the secondary at the safety spots, Roderick Rogers and Joe Stelmacher.
Mark, we miss the mohawk. Got the regular haircut working. On 2nd and 10, the throw is complete, and it's out to Robert Johnson, and Johnson's got a first down. So Arkansas comes out throwing, a little bit different than what we expected, out to the 46-yard line. Pick up a 14. Houston Nutt the SEC Coach of the Year in his 9th season. 49-year-old. Former Razorback, then transferred to Oklahoma State, where he finished his college career, and now it's unbelievable. It's his 9th year. 67 wins, 43 losses coming into this one.
Interesting that the first 2 plays of the game were passes to away from Monk and to Johnson, the wide receiver.
Now it's McFadden. He might be gone on the first carry of the day. Darren McFadden dragged down inside the 10-yard line. Jack Akagwagnu saved a touchdown. And McFadden explodes for 48 yards.
Oh, you want to talk about some strength and speed. This guy, now you understand why he's a runner-up for the Heisman. Watch this move that he makes back to the inside. He goes out right here. Now what? Right back inside. And that's a linebacker, number 2, Casillas, who misses him. He just runs through the linebacker, and he gets the ball to the 9-yard line. That's power.
Immediately, Arkansas has got a 1st and goal at the Badger 9-yard line. Now the Wildcat set, and Wisconsin jumps. We've got flags all over. Darren McFadden set up as the quarterback in that Wildcat situation, and he's done that a lot. As a running back, he can score, and we almost saw him score on his first carry. Here in the single wing as a quarterback in their Wildcat set. As a receiver, he can score, and he can throw touchdown passes. 6 out of 8 on the year, 3 touchdowns. And by the way, he can take it coast to coast, 92 on this one on a kickoff return for a score.
And Brad, they were set up to run that Wildcat. The Wildcat is, the quarterback is out of the ball game, and McFadden is in a shotgun. Now they're back to where Casey Dick back under the center as a quarterback.
And he gives it off to McFadden, straight up the middle. And he only got about 2. And it was Nick Hayden, the defensive captain for Wisconsin, the junior tackle, who made the stop. Impact players today. Well, I think he already showed us that he's an impact player. The SEC Player of the Year and the Heisman runner-up, Darren McFadden. And Jamal Anderson led the SEC in sacks with 11, and he's a big playmaker on the defensive side for the Hogs. 2nd down and goal at the 13-yard line.
McFadden is out in this lineup.
And Felix Jones is in, the guy that Paul talked about in the open. He flanks Casey Dick in the shotgun. They'll move the tight end. And now some confusion and a timeout taken by Arkansas. We'll take a timeout with them. Arkansas Razorbacks got a big drive going here in the opening couple of minutes.
Watching ESPN on ABC.
On this drive, Darren McFadden, the longest run allowed by Wisconsin all year, a 45-yard burst. He's on the sideline, apparently okay. They call him D-Dog. Well, the Cat's in the lineup now. Felix the Cat Jones, along with Casey Dick, and it's 2nd down and goal for Arkansas at the Wisconsin 13-yard line.
Sounds like a kennel.
Yep, does.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to own that kennel?
And that's Jones in motion. They fake it to him on play action. Dick wants to go to the end zone. And incomplete. Nice coverage and good pressure coming from Jason Chapman and Matt Shaughnessy.
And good decision by Casey just to throw the ball away.
You know, one of the things that when you look at Wisconsin, you know that they're going to stay at home because of McFadden and Jones, the way they run.
Casey Dick, the sophomore, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. We'll see Mitch Mustaine in the 3rd series for sure. And then the coaches will make a decision on who plays the rest of the game at quarterback. Darren McFadden now checks in the Arkansas lineup. It's 3rd and goal at the Wisconsin 13. Badgers trying to prevent an early score here from the Razorbacks. Casey Dick across the middle, tipped and almost caught. Nice job defensively by Mark Zalewski, the middle linebacker, who knocked it down.
Zalewski thought he had an interception. He really did. And this guy's a tough football player. And you talk about he reads Dick's eyes the whole time. You see Zalewski's right in front of him. Look down beyond, and you'll see him right in front. Now watch him read the eyes, get inside, and then he got 2 hands on it. He's supposed to catch that baby.
This Arkansas passing game is not a very sophisticated passing game.
Jeremy Davis will try a 30-yard field goal to try to cap Arkansas's opening march. The kick on the way. And it's no good. High and a little bit to the right. So Wisconsin gets a break there. in that Arkansas drives it right down the field, courtesy of a couple of pass plays and a Darren McFadden run, but they miss the 30-yard field goal, and the Badgers will take over on offense. So some happy Badger fans.
Yeah. Arkansas has only kicked 6 field goals all year. He's only made 50% of his attempts. Bealham was happy on the sideline. Wisconsin off to a good start.
ESPN's presentation of the Capital One Bowl on ABC. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Blockbuster Total Access, now offering movies through the mail, plus movies through the store. Nivea for Men Replenishing Aftershave Balm for a shaving world gone mad. And Ford, introducing the all-new Ford Edge. The Edge is never dull.
As you got a look at the Orlando Citrus Bowl Parade, annual tradition's grown to be one of the largest sports-affiliated parades in the nation. Wisconsin Badgers have scored 6 times on their opening drive this year in 12 games. And they take over after the missed field goal by Arkansas. It'll be Wisconsin at its own 20-yard line. 2 tight ends set to start things. Andy Crooks and Travis Beckham. Beckham, number 9, who just shifted over into the slot on the right side as the big play receiver for Wisconsin. Stocko play action. He wants it all on the opening play. And caught at midfield. Diving catch by Beckham. Well, I mentioned number 9 is the guy you have to watch. And John Stocko laid it right on the money on the first play of the ball game.
The Arkansas coaches told us yesterday that number 9, Richardson, a nickelback, would be in there shadowing him. You see number 9 in the white jersey covering Beckham, number 9 in the red. This is what the Arkansas coaches feel like. They can take Beckham away from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, the home team, by the way, in the red jerseys. Arkansas in the whites. First down. P.J. Hill is going to be dumped for a loss. Unceremoniously dumped for a loss by Malcolm Shepard. And there's a flag on the field. And P.J. didn't like the tackle much.
I don't think so.
We'll get the call from Dennis Hannigan of the Big East.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 9 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And it was Travis Beckham who was called for the penalty, the guy that just caught the long ball of 29 yards to get him out to the 49-yard line. Interesting, people say he's a wide receiver in a tight end's body or vice versa, and Travis said, wait a minute, I'm a tight end. Don't give me that wide receiver stuff. He is only 220 pounds, though, and he's 6'4".
Right. Interesting how both teams, both offenses, came out and started the game after over a month of a layoff with passes, and long passes at that.
So it's first down at 15. Empty backfield as Hill flushes out, and Stocko will drop to throw. John goes over the middle, completes it to Beckham again. He's back to about the original line of scrimmage as we check the Wisconsin Capital One offensive starting lineup. Let's put it on the shoulders of the quarterback. John?
We're going to get things going today on the offensive line with the big man, Joe Thomas, left tackle. In the backfield, we got P.J. Hill. He's going to get it going for us. At receiver, we got the Fenimore Flash, Luke Swan, and Spider-Man Paul Hubbard. And then at tight ends, we got the playmaker, Travis Beckham, and Andy Crooks.
And he's already found Travis Beckham twice on this opening drive. Second down and 10 now. Co-team MVP John Stocko, the senior, out of Richfield, Minnesota. Back to throw again, and in trouble, got rid of it, and a diving catch made. Nope, they're going to say incomplete at about the 48-yard line.
Nance,
it was the other tight end, Crooks, that tried to make the catch.
I'm sorry, one of the big things that Arkansas is trying to do is they're coming up with a 5-man defensive line, and they're trying to get there's 5 guys rushing all the time from the line of scrimmage. Now here's the pressure in the backfield. That's Keith Jackson, the son of Keith Jackson, the wide receiver, the tight end.
And you see the ball hit the ground as he made the diving attempt. Crooks, the other tight end, number 43. And that's third down and long for Wisconsin. Wisconsin on the season 42% on their third down conversions, and the guys upstairs.
Ruling of an incomplete pass on the prior play is under review.
Charles Phillips and Ed Ferrante, the guys upstairs to our left. We talked to him before the ball game, and they're going to take a look at this one and see if indeed it was a catch.
Yeah, every play in college football is reviewed, and this was close enough that the guys upstairs want to take a look at it. Neither coach on the sideline requested this.
Another look from behind Stocko, and you see Crooks going down Got his hands under it. I just don't know whether or not he controlled it when it got there. Here's a better look, probably. Got his hands under it. And then it looked like a bounce, but I'm not going to call it.
Well, the left
close.
arm comes, then the left arm comes back underneath the ball. So here, watch the left arm. If the official gets out of the way,
he didn't.
And then, well, but his left arm gets underneath the ball. You see, at that point there, it looks like a catch.
It's close.
I like the way they do this, though. I like it. You know, if there's any question at all, go ahead and stop it.
Video confirmed all on the field. The pass was incomplete. It will be 3rd down.
So they'll leave it the way it was. Let's check the Arkansas defense. Here's Jamal Anderson, their all-SEC performer.
Starting with the line, we have the grandpa of the unit, Keith Jackson. Moving on to linebackers, we have the leader of our unit, Sam Alajibutu. And moving on to the secondary, the strongest man probably on the defense, Chris Houston.
Chris Houston will be in play here probably for Wisconsin on a 3rd down and 10. Stocco going deep. Diving attempt, flags are down. I think they're going to call holding maybe on Arkansas. Luke Swan was the intended receiver, and as Luke made his break, it looked like maybe somebody got a hand on him down there. We'll wait and see.
Wouldn't you love to be the quarterback of this Wisconsin team? You look how big this offensive line is, Grease, and Stocco just stands back there.
Interference, number 4 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. 1st down.
He just stands back there. He has so much confidence in that offensive line.
Lots of man-to-man bump and run coverage.
And there's the hand on him right there as Swan made his break.
I think he was holding him right from the get-go.
Yep. I think he got him 2 or 3 times on that pattern.
But there's Thomas, the big left tackle, number 72.
Big Joe's the captain, 6'8", 313-pound Outland Trophy winner.
Both these lines are big.
Yeah, they are. 1st and 10, Wisconsin out the Arkansas 36-yard line. P.J. Hill hit immediately, got maybe a yard. Alajibutu, the captain of the defense, made the stop. P.J. Hill, over 1,500 yards rushing this season. He likes to hit people.
When I hit a defender, it's just like I'm sending a message that, you know, this it's going to be a long day. Like, it's not going to be easy to bring me down. So that's what I see as a running back. What I do is I like to keep hitting them. Instead of letting them wear me down, I'm gonna wear you down.
Talked to PJ last night in the hotel. Big smile on his face. Couldn't wait for this game. One of the New York, New Jersey connection, if you will, as running backs that have come from that part of the country to Madison, Wisconsin, including Ron Dane and Anthony Davis, and now P.J. Hill. P.J. the freshman of the year in college football, over 1,500 yards. Coming into this one, 15-33, 15 rushing scores, and 1 through the air.
5-man defensive line for Arkansas.
Hill flushes out of that backfield again as Stocco on 2nd and 9, getting pressure. John trying to buy himself some time and throws, almost intercepted. It was intended for Beckham, and he had him, but Richardson made a nice play that time. The impact players for Wisconsin. Very seldom do you talk about an offensive lineman being an impact player, but watch Joe Thomas play today and you'll know why. And we've already seen Travis Beckham, 2nd team All-American, with the long catch that got Wisconsin where they are. And now they face another 3rd down and long situation, 3rd and 9 at the 35-yard line.
You know, you really know when you have confidence in your offensive line. And you look at Wisconsin's offensive line, when they take everybody out of the backfield and let Stecco be there by himself, they really are confident in those 5 guys up front.
3 receivers for Stocco on 3rd and long. Steps up in the pocket, deep middle, in and out of the hands of not only the defender Chris Houston, but Beckham, the intended receiver, as well. They both got a hand on it.
One thing that's different for Stocco in Wisconsin is that Arkansas plays a lot of pressure defense. Rush a passer with 5 guys, and then in the secondary, a lot of tight man-to-man, bump and run defense. Reggie, the defensive coordinator, Reggie Herring, this is the way he has always played. So the receivers are not going to have that much margin of being open, so the throws have got to be pretty tight.
Taylor Melhoff has hit a 51-yard field goal this year, his career long. He's going to try from 52 right here. On the way. And he got it. How about that? Second team Big Ten performer shows why. Knocks it in from 52. And while Wisconsin's drive stalls, they're on the scoreboard first at the 10-minute mark. 3-0 Badgers. It doesn't have to be by much, fellas. It just has to be by about that much. 52-yard kick. Badgers on top of the Capital One Bowl. High field goal. Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl. And a Capital One Bowl record field goal, 52 yards. There's the Vikings. You know, those guys were out all night. I think they came straight here dressed that way. They were out last night the same way.
How did you know they were out all night?
I saw them early, really early.
Uh-huh.
I saw them last year.
I know Paul and I were in early.
Two of those guys looked like they were in an axe fight without an axe.
In an axe fight, huh?
Without an axe.
Yeah.
Taylor Melhoff with a 52-yard field goal. Capital One Bowl record. Now he's set to kick off to Felix Jones and Darren McFadden. Line drive, just drilled it, and Jones mishandles it at the 5. Now he's got the handle, and he's got some room. Across the 20, out to about the 24-yard line, 20-yard kickoff return. At the conclusion of our game today, stay tuned for the Built Ford Tough pregame show for the Rose Bowl. John, Craig, and Doug will be there. Brought to you by Ford F-Series. Where there's an F-Series, expect bold moves. Built Ford Tough. Both these teams, I think, are built pretty Ford tough, as you had the whole week the sensation around here that, you know what, Big Ten's better than the SEC. Nope, the SEC's better than the Big Ten. I mean, that's what they're out to prove today. You could just tell it the last 4 days around here. So Arkansas will work now from the 24-yard line. Jones on the end around. He's got great speed across midfield. Still on his feet. Felix Jones might be gone. He is. Touchdown, Arkansas. 76 yards. And he's the other running back. The guy that Paul talked about to open up the game. The guy they call the Cat. Felix the Cat. And he just scampered 76 for a touchdown.
Well, you look at him just bouncing. Look who stays out in front with him. That's Monk, the wide receiver. Look at Monk. Monk really helps out on this play. It was mostly 95% Jones, 5% Monk, and 100% speed.
That's right. Jeremy Davis in for the point after. Just that quickly the lead changes, and Arkansas leads Wisconsin 7-3. On an explosion with 9:19 to go in the first quarter.
Take a look from overhead. Wisconsin. Here's the receiver. I mean, here's the ball carrier. He's going to come all the way back around. They're second in the nation in big play runs of over 20 yards.
This is their 31st in that capacity, and this isn't Felix's longest of the year. He had an 85-yarder earlier this season, but you see him down the sideline, as Paul said, help from his wide receiver just a little bit there at the end.
Did a nice job of staying in bounds and not being pushed out of bounds. You would thought that the defender had an angle on him and we're going to push him out of bounds.
He threw the defender out of bounds.
Yeah.
76 yards in one play. And obviously it didn't take him 42 seconds to run that far, but remember the clock was started, so that's part of the drive. Both guys over 1,000, only the third time in SEC history that that's happened. And McFadden, who had a 45-yard run earlier, and now Felix says, Darren, anything you can do, I can do almost as good. And he's got a touchdown.
Well, and he also went into this game averaging 7.3 yards a carry, which is fourth in the nation. I think that just went up a little bit.
The kick, very short, taken at about the 21. And out almost to the 40 is Tyler Holland. Nice job by the up man to get Wisconsin excellent field position. Houston Nutt, the SEC Coach of the Year, and talked with us about what this means to be in this bowl game today.
It means a great deal because for the last 2 years, you know, we haven't gone to a bowl. I was really proud, especially for our seniors. They paid the ultimate price. They sacrificed. They committed to this team, and everybody followed them. And so this is a big, big step for us.
And the first step taken by Felix Jones to give his team the lead for the first time at 7-3. Stocco on the sprint out throws to Swan, and Swan's got it only about a 3-yard gain. You know, Houston Nutt, and you know, Aaron talked about it earlier in the ball game a year ago, not in a bowl game. Yeah. And we said, Coach, you know, were you on the hot seat? He said, well, yeah. You know, when you don't go to bowl games, you don't have winning seasons. Everybody's on the hot seat. But he said, you know, Coach Broyles stuck by me, and we have a unique relationship. And he said, you know, the media and the fans said, get rid of him. Now here's the Coach of the Year in the SEC.
You know, there were several different coaches that were on the hot seat. Lloyd Carr at Michigan had a great year. And Houston certainly was on the hot seat and had another great year at Arkansas.
Second down and 7. Stocco off play action, in trouble, and down he goes. Great pressure up the middle. And it's Keith Jackson Jr., the little guy, compared to his daddy, height-wise, that is. 6-footer at about 300.
Yeah, the little guy? Did you say the little guy?
Again, the 5-man defensive line. What that does, it puts every offensive lineman on a defensive lineman. Doesn't free anybody up to double-team anybody.
Keith Jackson, his dad, Keith Jackson Sr., does the radio broadcast for Arkansas with my buddy Mike Nail doing the play-by-play over to our right. And now it's 3rd down and 17. Stocco, pressure coming again. Down he goes again. And this time it's Jamal Anderson with his 12th sack of the year.
Boy, I tell you, this Jamal Anderson, they were talking about this young man. He has got tremendous speed for a defensive lineman. He only weighs 280, but he is 6'6". He's on the outside, number 92. Just watch his speed.
Well, look who's blocking him. It's a tight end. You cannot put a tight end, number 43, on a defensive end.
But you also had P.J. Hill that came over, and he didn't touch him either.
So now it's Reggie Fish, the smallest guy on the field, waiting Ken DeBush's punt for Wisconsin. First punt of the ball game. Oh, and he just barely got it out of there. Not a bad kick. Fish calls for the fair catch, and he'll field it at about the 33-yard line. So Wisconsin's offense went backward on that particular drive, or lack thereof. And now it's the Hogs who are yelling pig suey. They'll have the ball on offense with 7:12 to go when we come back.
Watching ESPN on ABC.
Welcome back to Orlando. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Aaron Andrews. The Capital One Bowl. Everybody decked in whatever kind of red or shade of red that you prefer, whether you're a Razorback fan or a Wisconsin Badger. And there's the first-year Badger head coach and the Big Ten Coach of the Year, Brett Bielema.
Mustaine is in now at quarterback.
We expected it in the 3rd series, and Mitch, the true freshman, is in there at the 34-yard line. And a little counter to McFadden. And Wisconsin had it sniffed out pretty well. Drop him after a gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Aaron?
Well, Brad, heading into this game, it was interesting because the Arkansas coaches didn't really know what they were going to get from Darren McFadden. Remember, in the SEC championship game versus Florida, McFadden suffered a sprained right MCL and ankle injury. Now, they told us they hadn't been practicing him hard here in Orlando, but they said if they saw that burst of speed, they'd know he'd be fine. Well, remember what happened earlier in the game, guys?
Yeah. Gus Malzahn, the offensive coordinator, said he's about 90%. I want to see him at 100% because when he got through that line, I can't believe that Ike Egwuonu actually ran him down. Mitch Mustaine, the highly touted freshman who won the first 8 games he played. And then he started struggling against South Carolina through an interception. And they decided, the coaching staff, to go with Casey Dick. So Casey has started the last 4 and the majority of the last 5 games.
What did Houston say yesterday? In high school, it was all those 3 deep zones and all that area underneath. You get into the colleges and they come up and bump, start playing a bunch of double zone and all these other unique defenses. Wasn't quite like high school.
Here he is on 3rd and 9, though. Waits and fires, and he's got his man. First down across midfield. Cedric Washington. Mustaine looked like he was going to get happy feet back there, but finally found his footing, and he found his receiver. First down, Arkansas.
Ness, we talked about Wisconsin when they had the ball about their offensive line. Well, this is another big offensive line with Arkansas, and these guys, they gave him all the time he needed to throw the football. Even Greasy could have completed that pass.
You see the statistics pretty similar.
Yeah.
Casey Dick is a redshirt freshman. Mitch is a true freshman. So the battle will continue for quarterback into next year. There's McFadden. And did the ball come out? It did. Mustaine scoops it up and runs out of bounds. That ball was on the ground for a long, long time. And Mitch said, wait a minute. I got the handle. I'll pick it up and get out of bounds. Well, Jim and the gang are back. Season premiere, a special hour. Back-to-back episodes, according to Jim. Wednesday at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC. So pretty fortuitous bounce there, if you will, for Mitch Mustaine to pick up the loose ball. And he got positive yardage, 2nd down and 7. You look behind Mitch in the Arkansas offense. Fish in motion, the gives to Jones. This time Wisconsin's got it wrapped up pretty well.
This offense for Arkansas comes and goes and wins and loses on their running game. It's 4th in the nation in rushing and 105th in the nation in their passing. Their 2 quarterbacks combined in the conference are last in pass efficiency. Gives you a little feeling about how they try to get things done. And yet we mentioned that number 2 in the nation in big plays. A lot of those big plays are on the ground, and occasionally a big pass play to Monk, the wide receiver.
Let's see if they pass here on 3rd down and 6 at the Wisconsin 44. They will try to throw a little screen, and Wisconsin read it beautifully. And a nice job on defense by Mike Newkirk to make the tackle. A loss on the play.
You know what really is happening here is Wisconsin, they don't even care if they throw the football. They've got 9 men up in the box, and the only thing they're looking at is run. Watch all of the red shirts that pursue out here on Jones. Jones really has no place to go. He had a couple of blockers, but there were 4 or 5 red shirts. Again, you want to throw? Throw. We're going to stop your run.
That's Zach Hampton awaiting Jacob Skinner's punt. High kick, fair catch, taken back at about the 9-yard line for Wisconsin with 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 7-3, Arkansas in front. Got a who am I for you. I was an assistant coach for Hayden Fry at Iowa. I was a defensive coordinator for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame, and then I won 3 Rose Bowls as a head coach. Who am I?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Well, Barry Alvarez, the head coach from 90 to 2005. And coach retired after that bath last year in this Capital One Bowl in a win over Auburn. And Barry's not here today. There's the first-year head coach, Brett Bielema, who is his hand-picked successor. And Barry is out at the Fiesta Bowl. He'll be working the championship game in the Fiesta Bowl for our friends at Fox as a color analyst. So he had mixed emotions about not being with his team. He came down here, spent as much of the week as he could, and then he had to get to work, his other job.
Yeah.
He's athletic director, obviously. I think most of the Wisconsin fans know that. 2nd down and 11. There's Big Joe, the Outland Trophy winner.
You know, you talk to anybody that knows anything with the NFL teams, the scouts, they'll pick this guy over any of the offensive linemen coming out, and they'll say he'll be a top 5 pick, if not higher, in the draft this coming spring.
See if he protects his quarterback if John Stocco chooses to throw here. 2nd down and 9. Stocco is near his own end zone. Got pressure. And incomplete. Tipped. Antoine Robinson got a piece of Stocco as he was trying to get rid of that football.
Wisconsin's got to do something, got to know something about the 5-man defensive line that's dominating this game.
The only team Wisconsin lost to this year was Michigan. And coming up, the granddaddy of them all, 2 of college football's most storied programs get together. Pete Carroll against Lloyd Carr, the Wolverines, and the Trojans. The Rose Bowl game coming up next here on ABC Sports. So 3rd and long now for Wisconsin.
5-man defensive line.
Luke Swan in motion for Wisconsin. And he gets the pass across the middle from Stocco, and it's a first down, Wisconsin. That's the guy that John Stocco said in the starting lineups, called him the Fenimore Flash. Fenimore's about, I don't know, 70 miles maybe from Madison. Luke is not the fastest guy in the world. Bret Bielema gave him that name facetiously, the Fenimore Flash, but it's stuck now with the whole team. But Luke gets the job done.
Oh, he gets the job done. One of the things they've got to do to get this job done today is P.J. Hill has got to carry the ball. And I agree with Bob. They have to solve this 5-man defensive line for Arkansas. Arkansas is stacking up. They're saying to you, okay, Wisconsin, you throw the ball. You're not going to run it.
From the 21, they try to run it, and going nowhere is P.J. Hill. Nice play by Ernest Mitchell. That front four of Arkansas led by Jamal Anderson, and they are setting the tone right now.
It's going to be a smash-mouth game. It's going to be real physical, and we just got to go out there and be out-physical, out-dominate the other team, and whoever's the most physical is going to win.
Jamal, all-SEC first-teamer, already has raised havoc in the backfield with 2 sacks today on John Stocco. So he's got 13 for the year right now. Swan in motion on second down and 12. Arkansas might have jumped into the neutral zone. Could be a free play. Stocco the throwback, incomplete, intended for P.J. Hill. But I think Antoine Robinson got a head start, and it should be a 5-yard walk-off against the Hogs. We'll wait and see what Dennis Hennigan has to say.
Offside for 97 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So Wisconsin gets a free down. They'll walk it off 5 yards. Bret Bielema's team trailing 7-3. Wisconsin, the only one-loss team from a BCS conference not playing in a BCS bowl by rule.
Why is that, Brad?
You can only have 2 teams from one conference in a BCS, and of course Michigan's in the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, and Ohio State will play Florida for the national championship. So not a bad start though for Bret Bielema. Go 11-1, but what do you do for an encore?
That's true. Pretty good start.
Trying to become only the 3rd first-year coach ever to win 12 games in his opening season. Here's a pass across the middle, and it's Paul Hubbard. And Hubbard's all the way out near midfield, and another Badger first down. Randy Kelly ran him out of bounds, but a pickup of 24.
Yes, this is a classic example of the offensive line blocking the man in front of him. They blocked everyone, and this allowed this to happen.
A lot of man coverage there, so Wisconsin's going to start crossing their receivers. You notice the tight end came up to try to rub off the defensive back. Hubbard got open across the field.
Wisconsin sort of felt Randy Kelly was maybe a guy they get a little business done on back there at safety. Kelly, a good hitter, and you saw that on that play. Actually popped the ball loose from Hubbard, but Hubbard got the big gainer out to the 48-yard line. Stocco, the out to Swan. Nice catch. Diving catch at the 46-yard line by Luke Swan, the junior.
One of the things I'm saying about because they have a 5-man line for Arkansas on defense, and what's happening, the 5 guys up front for Wisconsin, these guys are playing these guys man to man, basically. And the defensive guys are starting to wear down. I mean, they're just trying to push 300-pound guys around, and they're not being able to do it. There's the defensive coordinator. He's just saying, whoa. You know, Reggie says, hey, get upfield. You've got to get upfield and put some penetration on Stocco.
There's the 5-man front that Bob's circling. Stocco, great play fake. Still got the ball, and nobody knows it except Crooks, the tight end. Inside the 30, down to the 22-yard line. Boy, John Stocco put that baby on his hip and just kept it there, and the offensive line gave him all kinds of time.
There he is right here, the tight end. The play is going to go away from him. He's just going to sit there and act like he's blocking. Keep an eye on him. The fall down trick, the old tight end fall down, comes back up, catches the ball. That was, every offense in America has some version of that play.
And it works beautifully. Did you notice, though, every white shirt for Arkansas on the defense are stopped at the line of scrimmage. They never penetrated.
I can't see Jim Mandich ever falling down for you, Bob. From the 22.
They're throwing down.
Stocco to Beckham, and he almost made the catch. Nice coverage back there defensively by Matero Richardson, staying with number 9. So it is, again, number 9 on number 9. And the coaches both told us on both sides that's what we'd expect as a matchup, and we've seen it all day. Watch the previous play now. The play fake And watch John Stocco. He's got the ball on his hip, and everybody's going, where is it? That was great.
That's Robinson, 97, the defensive end. He was looking away, looking across field. Never knew the quarterback had it.
Second down at 10 now. Wisconsin trailing with a half minute to go in the first quarter, but threatening at the Arkansas 22. Stocco going to loft it to the corner. He's got a man. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Paul Hubbard. They call him Spider-Man, and he just slung a web out there and caught that baby in the corner of the end zone.
Boy, I'll tell you what, does he have all day to throw this ball?
Just a little, watch him, they're doing the little cross routes. Man coverage, they're rubbing the defenders so they get a step on them. They did this the whole pass, the whole drive dominated with passes for Wisconsin.
Malhaf's extra point is up and good. So we seesaw Wisconsin back in front, capping a 91-yard march and doing it in fine fashion. Some big plays by Stocco, including this one, 22 yards for the touchdown.
Pretty good protection. Got the little receivers crossing.
And for the senior out of Richfield, Minnesota, the fifth-year senior, touchdown pass number 16 on the year, and maybe none sweeter than that one. And a perfect shot as it comes right into your hands and Paul Hubbard's hands as well.
That looked like that one of those throws from that teaser we had at the beginning of the game. Almost the same thing.
Stocco doesn't get enough credit.
No, he doesn't.
You know, he's with a team that loves to run the football. And here this afternoon, they're not getting to run the football very much. And that drive, 91 yards, most of it was through the air. And credit to Stocco's passing.
Well, Stocco's a 61% passer, and he's thrown 15 touchdowns coming into this game and only 4 interceptions. And that's the one good thing about him is the way he manages a football game, Grease, and he doesn't really make a lot of mistakes.
That's true.
Stocco 8 out of 13 and the touchdown pass. And now Malhaf's got it teed up. Felix Jones and Darren McFadden are back deep. He's been trying to line drive these kicks to not give them any hang time to gather under it, because both of them can take it the distance at any given moment on a kick return. This one will bounce at the 12. McFadden will scoop it at the 5. And Darren's out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Let's check in with Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Well, Brad, remember John Stocco not only coming up from that layoff from the bowl games to the regular season, but he missed the final 2 games of the regular season with a separated shoulder. I spoke with him last night, and he told me his biggest concern heading into today was the timing and the speed of the game. He said, once I have that, I know I'll be fine. Looks like he's got it back, Brad.
Yep, he got hurt in that Penn State game, and the 3 of us were there. And then a nice job by Tyler Donovan to come in and handle the Badger attack for 2 wins of his own. But now it's the senior back there leading the squad.
Casey Dick is back in at quarterback.
And he's going to throw on first down, complete out across the 30 and to about the 35 is Robert Johnson. And Johnson's got a first down for Arkansas as the quarter comes to a close. And that was a good one. Action-packed, some big plays by both teams. Darren McFadden and Felix Jones on one side, John Stocco and Paul Hubbard and Luke Swan on the other. You're watching the Capital One Bowl from Orlando, Florida. A good first quarter. Stick around. It's Wisconsin 10-7.
Welcome back to Orlando. Capital One Bowl.
And welcome back. Capital One Bowl. We start the second quarter. And Wisconsin leading Arkansas by a score of 10-7. That's Mark Zalewski, the 2-time captain of the Badgers, the middle linebacker, and one of the free spirits on the team. Cheeseheads in full fashion. We ran out of cheese over at the Peabody Hotel by having all the Wisconsin fans over there all week.
A lot of them were watching that Green Bay game last night.
You got that right.
Yeah.
And what might have been Brett Favre's last hurrah, and everybody, you could hear a pin drop in the lounge at the hotel.
To the snap, false start by the right side of the line. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
All right, what are you guys laughing about?
I just said false start by everybody.
Yeah, the whole side of the line. That's it. Hey, it's New Year's, you know. Might have been a long night for the right side of the line. And both these lines can tilt the field, trust me, because they're about 318 each. And Happy New Year, fellas. Did you behave yourselves last night?
Yeah, I know you were out celebrating.
Not that much.
Home early.
Paul was.
Got my grandkids.
Paul's a big guy, yeah.
Early. By early, we don't necessarily know what early means. And Wisconsin doing a nice job on defense as they come up with a big play. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and long. We want to pass along not only a Happy New Year, but congratulations to head coach Bob Knight, who just broke the all-time Division I men's coaching record, passing Dean Smith with his win over New Mexico today. Coach, I know he's a good friend of Bob's, good friend of mine. And Paul, Coach, if you're watching, you're probably not, but congratulations on number 880.
Nice going.
Nice going.
Good going.
Happy New Year from Orlando. We got a good ball game going here.
Yes, we do. It's
a lot of big plays.
Wisconsin
already.
doing it through the air, and Arkansas doing it on the ground.
Casey Dick coming up, firing, and short gain. Wisconsin does a nice job on that crossing pattern to bring him down. Ben Cleveland made the catch. Cleveland, the true freshman out of Springdale, Arkansas. Wisconsin with a 10-7 lead. Arkansas got a long touchdown run from Felix Jones. Wisconsin with a field goal early to make it 3-0, and then Stocco on the touchdown pass to cap Wisconsin's last drive. And that's where they are. This was John's 16th touchdown pass of his senior season. A perfect strike to Paul Hubbard in the corner of the end zone. That's why the Badgers have the lead, 10-7. 3rd down, 13. Casey Dick steps up and fires incomplete, intended for Cedric Washington, and the Razorbacks are going to have to kick it away.
That was just a little bit high.
Just a little bit wide, too.
He's his 2nd year of playing. He's only starting his 5th ball game, and his 9th ball game. And we said the strength of Arkansas offensively is not their passing game, and that's what Wisconsin wants them to force them to do: throw the football.
Zach Hampton back deep out of Texarkana, Texas, awaiting the kick of Jacob Skinner. Long wait for the snap, and Skinner with the kick hangs it up high. Nice punt. Fieldable though at the 27 and back to about the 37. Zach Hampton with the return. Wisconsin's going to have excellent field position. With 13 minutes, 20 seconds remaining, the Badgers will have it back on offense with a 3-point lead when we return. Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl. A little bit of a threat of rain, but it has stayed away to this point. And there's Ben Cleveland being taken off as he made a catch on that last drive. He's got his right shoe off, so they're going to take him into the locker room and have a look. We'll try to get a report. If Wisconsin would win, it would set a school mark for single season victories. If Arkansas wins, it'll be their first 11-win season since 1977. Both have had great years. Michigan and Wisconsin tied for 2nd in the Big Ten. Arkansas, the SEC West champions. Here's P.J. Hill. P.J. hasn't been able to get much cooking so far. That's his best run of the day as he picked up 5 yards on the carry. There goes our duck for about 5 yards with our Aflac trivia question. Who was the coach the last time Arkansas won 11 games in a season? Almost gave that away about 2 seconds ago. I'm glad I didn't now. You think it over. John Stocco breaks the huddle and brings him up. We would have had a mad duck on our hands.
Yeah.
2nd down at 5. From behind, P.J. Hill. And here he comes. And down he goes. They're not giving him any room to run. Elijah Butu, the defensive captain, the little, if you will, 5'9", 225-pound linebacker, made the stop.
5 guys, 5 defensive linemen, then 3 other guys right up there. That's an 8-man front to stop the run and force Wisconsin to throw the football.
Well, you look at how the defensive backs, the safeties fill, and they become almost like linebackers. But the one thing that Stocco did coming into this series of downs is he threw the ball 13 times, completed 8, 125 yards and a touchdown. That'll kind of get him out of this. He's got to throw the ball more to get P.J. Hill involved.
He'll be throwing here, empty backfield, 3rd and 4. Stocco pumps across the middle, tipped. Crooks trying to make a diving catch off the ricochet from his tight end buddy Travis Beckham, and it's incomplete. Wisconsin will have to give it up before they punt. Let's check in with John Saunders. John.
Brad, with a Sports Center in-game, it's now official. Bob Knight trails no one. Jarius Jackson knocks down this three. They win it 70-68. Number 880 for Bob Knight, number 1 all-time. Brad.
And you see his son, Pat, the associate head coach and head coach designate whenever Coach Knight decides to step down with a hug for his dad. Congratulations to Bob Knight. Block punt. There's nobody back there but Badgers right now. The guy that blocked it's trying to come up with it. And now the throw. Open man is there. Flags are down. All over the field. That's one of the zaniest plays you'll see in a while.
It may be all wrong, but it was heads up.
Oh, there's an upset coach. Illegal receiver downfield.
You can throw
because everybody was down on that end of the field.
You can throw it after a block punt, but the interior people were downfield.
Darius Vignette is the guy that blocked it. Here's the call.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 57 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, 4th down.
So it's still 4th down, so it negates basically the block punt.
Wow.
Well, you know what? They got to be downfield. I mean, this is the easiest call to make. They snap the ball. All the linemen are running downfield. It's blocked. They've got to be at least 35 yards downfield.
Yeah.
DeBush picks it up.
What a break that is for Wisconsin.
And DeBush has the presence of mind and a pretty good toss, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Not a bad pass at all.
We'll take 5-yard penalty.
Absolutely.
Not the block punt.
DeBush will try it again. And Wisconsin, I'm sure, will try to protect him a little better. The kick. Fish takes it and goes down in deep water. Zach Hampton on the punt team. 41-yard kick, and Zach Hampton met the return man in his tracks. We'll be back on track with Wisconsin in front by 3 when we come back.
ESPN's presentation of the Capital One Bowl on ABC. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Walt Disney World Resort inviting people to live out Disney dreams like never before as they celebrate the year of a million dreams. Both teams obviously spent a good portion of their bowl week at Disney World and had a blast doing so.
What a huge break that was for Wisconsin. They gained about 50 hidden yards from where the ball would have been to where Arkansas takes possession of it right now.
Fadden bottled up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Zalewski was there defensively along with Stellmacher, the senior safety.
I would think I would try to get McFadden and or Jones a little bit wider to the outside, because if you look at Wisconsin, what they're doing, they're putting 9 guys up in the box, and they're saying to Arkansas, throw the ball if you want to. We're going to allow you to do that.
Now McFadden,
stop a run.
McFadden split out to the bottom of your screen as a wide receiver, and it's Felix Jones, the tailback. And Jones pops it out to about the 23-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long. 10:20 in the clock running. Wisconsin leading by 3. We asked you the Aflac trivia question a little while ago. The last time that Arkansas won 11 games, who was the head coach of the Razorbacks? We've given you time to think it over. It was 1977. And it was Lou Holtz, the head coach of the Razorbacks from 77 to 83. And you can find that and a lot of other interesting tips. The ESPN College Football Encyclopedia, available in bookstores nationwide. Casey Dick back to throw on 3rd down, buying himself some time and throwing and completing out to Marcus Monk, or do they say incomplete? Incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down. Houston Nutt, who started his career at Arkansas and was actually a true freshman at quarterback back in the day. Then he transferred to Oklahoma State, and that's where he graduated, head coach at Boise State and Murray State before his head coaching job at Arkansas. Back when he was at Boise State, they played Wisconsin in Madison and almost beat the Badgers in Camp Randall. And he said, I always remember that. And he said, Barry Alvarez said to me when he crossed the field, Coach, you played better than we did. You should have won the game.
Yep.
Jacob Skinner to punt.
You see Skinner's little ritual before he punts the ball?
Yeah, he's got to line it up. This one he lined up way up in the air. And Hampton will fair catch it on the other end at about the 37-yard line. So Wisconsin with the lead, courtesy of their quarterback, John Stocco. And Stocco and the Badgers offense will have it with a 3-point lead when we come back. Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl. And our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear Tires, featuring triple tread technology. As you look in on the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Capital One Bowl, Wisconsin and Arkansas. Good game, 10-7. Badgers of the Big Ten with a 3-point lead, and they've got the ball back at their own 38-yard line. P.J. Hill, number 39 right there, as you look behind him, has not been able to get anything going on the ground today. 5 carries, 5 yards for a guy that had over 1,500 on the season. Nice play fake by Stocco, and he's going to run with it. Stocco across the 40, and he gets out for about 5 yards out to the 43-yard line. John Stocco, the 5th-year senior, looking for his 29th win as a starting quarterback at Wisconsin, and he just loves his time that he's had at Madison.
I'm very happy for the fact that I've been able to play at a place where people love football, and, you know, they care about our team. They always want to know what's going on with their team, and, you know, that's great to have as an athlete.
You know, the Wisconsin quarterbacks, because their running backs have always been so good, have been able to put up good numbers. Brooks Bollinger is the all-time leader in wins with 30, and John's right behind him, trying to win number 29 today. Here he is on the rollout, and there's going to be a holding call.
Yeah, he tackled.
Yeah, basically, P.J. Hill got tackled trying to come out of the backfield.
And he didn't have the ball.
The flag's at the 45-yard line, and it was P.J. who was going to be the intended receiver, I think, of John Stocco. And P.J. never got out in his pattern. I think it's going to be on Elijah Butu, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it was.
10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
Oh, the holding call will give Wisconsin a first down as we check in with Aaron.
A physical game so far. Brad, tight end Ben Cleveland for Arkansas suffered a dislocated right toe on that foot. I was told they're going to tape it up, and he's coming back in if possible, Brad.
Boy, it's the year of the toe for Arkansas. At the beginning of the season and the preseason, Darren McFadden dislocated his toe and had to have surgery, and that slowed him at the beginning of the year. Obviously, he got warmed up, and the toe didn't bother him anymore. But
if Cleveland can come back from a dislocated toe, he's got to be Superman.
At the 47-yard line, Wisconsin with a first down. Stocco play action. Here comes a heat from behind. Somehow he got out of there and now throws it away and does a nice job just getting rid of the ball. Ernest Mitchell was putting the heat on, but that entire front of Arkansas was getting good pressure up the middle on the Badgers. College football bowl games continue on ESPN coming up next Sunday nights. Frankie Solich, little Frankie, and the Ohio Bobcats take on the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, led by freshman running back Damian Fletcher. GMAC Bowl on ESPN Sunday, 8 Eastern, also available in high definition on ESPN HD. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. 8:23 remaining in the first half of the Capital One Bowl here in Orlando with Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Aaron Andrews. I'm Brad Nessler. Happy New Year to everybody. And right now, the Wisconsin fans just a little bit happier than Arkansas with a 3-point lead. P.J. Hill puts his head down and bulls his way for about 5 yards to the 42-yard line. So he's had a couple of touches on this drive that have been better for P.J. And sometimes he gets better as the game goes along. You heard him say that he likes to be the one that's punishing instead of being the one that's punished.
All right,
Jay-Z, that's your favorite guy, too.
You got to tell me who Jay-Z is.
Isn't that Beyonce's boyfriend?
Can I ask a question? Who collects
that.
tennis shoes? How many feet do you have? You haven't got but 2 feet.
Third
and the
down.
other people, I don't know who they are.
Third down and 5. You got Lawrence Welk over here, and you got here's Stocco to throw, and Hubbard goes up and gets it. Wow. What a catch. Second big one of the day for Hubbard. One was a touchdown. This one's a first down inside the 20 and a pickup at 24.
Well, he had Woods and Houston, both of them down there with him. Number 3 is Woods. Number 2 is Houston. And he goes up and takes his ball away. Hubbard does. Watch this. This throw it just hangs in the air. This is great, a great job by the wide receiver. Look at the two defensive backs. They collide, and Hubbard comes down with the ball.
Hubbard, a former Big Ten long jump champion, and he shows his track skills by going up and just snatching this one from two defenders.
They just passed the baton to him.
They did. And they've passed it down to the 18-yard line. So in the red zone, Wisconsin was 7 and change remaining in the quarter. They faked the end around. Stocko's got to get rid of it, and he took a pretty good shot.
I tell you what, some of Stocko's best plays today have been avoiding a sack and throwing the ball away.
It again was Ernest Mitchell that was applying the heat. Ernest, a sophomore, about a 300-pounder out of Noonan, Georgia, and he said hello to Stocko as soon as John got rid of that football.
Well, you can tell Stocko is feeling better. He's had a little slightly separated shoulder, missed the last 2 games of the season. We saw him in that naked reverse, naked bootleg quarterback run. If they're doing that with him, you know he's all right.
So far, he hasn't hit his big play tight end, Beckham, as he drops back to throw here. Flares it out to Luke Swan. And Swan is inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. Pick up a 4. Keith Jackson put the pressure on John Stocko that time.
I'll tell you, this defensive line, now this first half, they have been putting pressure on Stocko. But you know what? They're going to get worn down here after a while, because we already told everyone about the Wisconsin's offensive line. They're, what, 6'6" on the average, 317 pounds. Of course, Arkansas is pretty big too, but you just can't go up against these trees all day long and think you're going to knock one of them down.
7th play of the Badger drive, and it's 3rd down at 5.
All man coverage, everybody up near the line of scrimmage.
Stocko, quick drop, throws to the end zone. Beckham got it. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
What a great throw.
It's good to be a Badger in your last game for John Stocko, huh? 2 touchdown passes. We had mentioned the previous play that he hadn't hooked up with Beckham on a big play, and they're going to review this as we'll take another look ourselves.
Beckham's going to run a little corner. I believe he catches this ball and has possession before his foot is on the line. Saw another view of that. Let's take a look at this one. His right foot right there. Well, I don't know. Run it back just a tad if you can.
Here it's coming at you. This will show his possession, but it might not show.
I think that other one. I think the one that we just had is the one we need to see, because we see both the possession and the foot. Watch his right foot right here.
He's got it right there.
He's got possession before. Yeah.
Yep. He's got his right toe in, and then it's a skip to Malou after that. I think it's a touchdown. And it was a perfect throw over the outstretched hands of the defender. It's a touchdown. And now the Badger fans can celebrate again.
Very nice.
And the other thing I like is it didn't take long to review it.
Good job by the guys from the Big East and the guys in our replay booth. Charlie Phillips and Ed Ferranti.
John Spencer, one of the officials from the Big East, is in our booth with us here this afternoon.
We just gave John the thumbs up because that was the right call.
He's here keeping McGuire straight.
Yeah, thank goodness. Poor John had to be on that side of the booth.
Whoa. On that one play, you didn't say, you didn't hear me say it. Well, I don't know.
The extra point is up and good, and Wisconsin leads 17-7. John Stocko, senior, playing his last game for the Badgers. 2 touchdown passes so far.
Watching ESPN on ABC.
And you're watching the Capital One Bowl between Wisconsin and Arkansas. And let's take one more look at Travis Beckham's catch.
Well, when he catches the ball, look at his right foot. It's inbounds. His right foot is down inbounds. He's got control of the ball. His left foot does come out.
Just a little bit. There it is.
It's clearly on the ground, and then his left foot's out of bounds, but the catch is already made. It's already touchdown.
His right foot was on the ground when he had possession of the ball, and then it came off.
It was a bam-bam play and a good review and a good call by the officials, and Wisconsin now with a 10-point lead.
And what a great throw by Stocco.
Perfect.
Just over the defender and just inside the boundary, allowing his man to make the catch.
This kickoff is deep. After line driving a few, they knocked that one in the end zone, and Arkansas will have to work from the 20-yard line. Here's our ESPNU All-State Standings review. Ohio State and Florida will meet for the national championship. Michigan, number 3, and number 5 USC getting ready in the Granddaddy Mall following us from Pasadena. LSU playing Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. Wisconsin, the Big Ten is not faring so well. Wisconsin's trying to change that, and they're doing a good job of it so far in the first half. And Arkansas, the SEC, at its own 20-yard line. Fish in motion. Here's McFadden. And Darren goes 4 or 5 yards out before Joe Monty makes the tackle.
Ness, before that play with McFadden, he had carried the ball 4 times for 48 yards. 45 of them came on one run. Jones, on the other hand, 3 times for 80 yards. 76 of those yards came on one run.
Darren and Herschel Walker, the only running backs in SEC history for 1,000 yards in both their freshman and sophomore seasons. And when you're talking the same breath as Herschel,
that's pretty good company.
Pretty good company.
Yes, sir.
Herschel joined us on ESPN on the Chick-fil-A Bowl the other night. He looks like he can still play. He was down on the sideline watching his Bulldogs come from way behind to beat Virginia Tech the other night. Pick up a 10 on the completion to Robert Johnson. And that's an Arkansas first down.
That's what the Hogs need. They need just a little passing game out of either Casey Dick or Mustaine. Either one. They have not been able to get the ball to Monk, number 85, their big play guy. Iquananu, number 6, has been trailing him anywhere he's going.
Jones now is a slot man on the right and comes back in motion, and they give it to him on the end around. Felix Jones across the 40 and out to the 46-yard line. Another Arkansas first down. So that time they have McFadden as a tailback, put Felix Jones out in a slot on the right side, and on the end around he picks up a first down for Arkansas.
I don't care what it takes to get the ball in the hands of number 5 McFadden or 25 Felix Jones, but you've got to do that. And again, I think you're right, Grease. Those little short passes, whatever it is, will loosen them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Jones goes out. First Arkansas pair to reach 1,000 in the same season. I mentioned earlier it's only the 3rd time in history in the SEC. Back in 04, Gerald Riggs Jr. and Cedric Houston did it for Tennessee. And then way back in the day at Auburn, it was Cribbs as the run this time into Wisconsin territory. Down to the 46-yard line. Catch one of the hottest new comedies of the season. Everyone needs a little life support in case of emergency. Coming to ABC Wednesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central Time.
I'd say if you're going to tackle McFadden, you better tackle him head up. Now, it's easy for me to say because I'm sitting up here 5,000 yards away from this guy. But if you're going to stick your arm out and try to tackle him, it's not going to happen.
Number 46, lined up as a fullback, weighs 280 pounds. Ex-guard.
Casey Dick throwing high that time, trying to get it to Marcus Monk. Good coverage by Jack Ikegwanu, who has been matched up with him all game long. Number 6. 3:55 remaining in the half from the Florida Citrus Bowl in Orlando. And it's 2 touchdown passes for John Stocco. The difference right now for Wisconsin with a 10-point lead after winning over Auburn a year ago. I mentioned Auburn. James Brooks and Joe Cribbs were the other 2 guys that had 1,000-yard seasons. Didn't quite finish my thought there before that run by McFadden. Now it's 3rd down. Here's the pitch. Loose ball. They found the handle. Ikegwanu, though, brings down Felix Jones for a loss.
Poor pitch by the quarterback. Threw it behind him. That's what Houston's talking to him about. Get it out in front of him. It looked pretty good. It's going to come back that way, and this gun's coming this way. Watch him. He's just going to throw it a little bit behind him.
You don't think that fakes out your defense, though, Grease? You got McFadden going one way and Jones the other way. Well, all right, look at this guy. Watch this guy's getting. Look at this punter.
Got to put it right.
And then he kicks it about 30 yards.
Did you do that back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was so tired by the time I got back, and I didn't just leave me alone.
You probably did something twice as silly as that.
Never.
Skinner to punt. Oh, and he got it blocked. He lined it up wrong, but Wisconsin had it lined up beautifully. Ben Strickland with a block punt, and the Badgers have the ball in Arkansas territory. And that's something that Arkansas has had trouble with in the 2 losses at the end of the season. Their special teams had been so good, and this happened against Florida in the SEC championship.
Look how long he takes to kick the ball. Now he's just making, he takes 3 steps to kick the ball. He has no chance of getting that ball off. Watch. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, and then kick. I'm sorry. You're only back 14. Now you're up to 9 yards. When you're kicking the ball, they're going to shove it down your throat.
Strickland with a big play on the special teams for the Badgers. Let's see if they try to take advantage in a hurry here. They've got plenty of time to work before halftime. 2:45 in the second quarter. Stocco might want to go on top right here. Steps up in the pocket. Now scrambling, trying to get away from the rush. He's going to get positive yardage as he goes out in front of the Arkansas bench over there, run out by Desmond Sims. They were thinking home run there on the quick exchange after the block punt. It just didn't materialize for him.
You're exactly right. Coverage downfield, pressure on the quarterback. Let's see where John's throwing his 11 completions in 19 throws. We'll take a look at it in a minute.
2nd down and 9 with the clock stopped. 2:33 remaining in the half. Boy, this would be a big gift for Wisconsin. Even if they get a field goal out of this, they're going to have a nice cushion at halftime. Both wideouts to Stocco's right. He's looking that way and now wants to come back with a screen to Crooks, and it's intercepted by Arkansas, and it's Keith Jackson, the big guy on the front wall, and you know his daddy's having a big time in the booth to our right now.
Yes.
He just showed you some of his dad's stuff. He used good hands. Watch this.
He's not as tall as his dad, but he makes a huge play here.
Well, he didn't block it, but he caught it. Did he block it?
No. The thing about it is
Robinson blocked it. He caught it.
Yeah.
There's Keith Sr. over there doing the color commentary with Mike Nail. And Keith Jackson, of course, was a great one, an All-American tight end at Oklahoma. He's probably the 2nd most famous Keith Jackson in history. And there his dad is looking on. Well, since they opened the Peabody back in '86, the tradition of the Peabody Ducks every day, 11 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they make the march down the red carpet. There's Keith Jackson Jr. with a big interception. He's probably the 3rd most famous Keith Jackson in history. I would say that guy is number 2 Keith Jackson in history. And I think that probably the most famous Keith Jackson. There he is. Our buddy. He might be watching the game, and I'm sure he'll be watching the granddaddy of them all in Pasadena.
Yes, sir.
So, Haas, we hope you're watching, and I hope you had a happy New Year.
Hello, Haas. How you doing, boy?
Play action, the end around now to Darren McFadden, and he's trying to get the corner, and he got it out of bounds at about the 48-yard line, just a little bit short, I think, of a first down. But again, he shows his speed when he got to the edge.
You know what he shows you? That they talk about guys, runners like McFadden. There aren't many of them. With that 2nd gear or that other gear, he just showed you that other gear.
The SEC top rushing performances through a sophomore season. We mentioned Herschel Walker, over 3,500 in the first 2 years. And then Darren's next in line, Emmitt Smith, Kevin Clark. Pretty good company right there.
That's some real nice company there.
There's Darren in the backfield.
The Hogs need a score.
They fake it to McFadden. Casey Dick going deep down the middle. Whoa, big hit. Robert Johnson knew he was going to take a shot, and Stellmacher said, you know what, I'm happy to deliver. Stellmacher will really take your head off if you give him a chance. Senior out of Berlin, Wisconsin.
He's the strong safety, but he is really, from the left side, he comes in, he's just like another linebacker. Stellmacher, 6'1" and 220.
Team co-MVP. 3rd down and short. Oh, I don't think so. Mark Zalewski makes the stop along with Stellmacher again. Arkansas only 1 out of 7 on their third down conversions today.
They're talking to each other in there right now.
Well, I'll tell you, this is the way you stop McFadden. Zalewski steps up, and yeah, you're shaking your head. You know he didn't make it. You have to hit this guy head on.
Zalewski with a big hit gets congratulations from the coaches. Well, you know, Paul McGuire's been everywhere with us here in his first year. Where has he been? Well, he's been in end zone at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Grant Field, yakking away. He's hidden in the truck on a bad day when it was kind of cold. He's been on cart cam even in inclement weather. And then we thought a little bit today about where Bob would like Paul to be, because he's been just about everywhere, and he happens to be to my partner's right over here. Both my partners are in the booth with me, but
he's always next to me.
You know, you got to think maybe as an official, that'd be a good. Maybe down the end of the bench, get him out of here.
Get him on the end of the bench.
Yep. Or as a red hat.
Baby, let it rip.
Yep. Tell the officials when the commercial's over.
I don't think he can handle
this
that.
is the best.
This is where
this is where we need to have him.
Yeah.
That's about 100 feet in the air over that Orlando sign over there.
End zone, high in the end zone.
Did you get a little nosebleed up there?
Oh, Daddy. That's high.
Oh. 4th down, and Arkansas will go. Roll the dice a little bit with 1:38 to go in the half. Everybody on their feet for both sides here. 4th down and 1. Play action. They throw it. It's incomplete. Great play by Jonathan Casillas, the outside linebacker. They tried to get it to Mitch Petrus, the fullback, and Wisconsin will take over on down.
Got to mention the name of Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator, having this Wisconsin defense ready for the team, ready for a run, but then also have his troops ready to knock down a pass.
You know, if that pass would have been completed, he wouldn't have had the first down. That's how bad the pass pattern was.
Casillas leading the team in tackles for loss, and in that case, just a great play defensively in pass coverage.
Well, you got Arkansas doing something. Their offense now is left-handed because you've taken their run game away from them, and you're forcing them to do something that they don't do very well. I just mentioned number 46, Petrus. He's an offensive guard wearing number 46. He weighs 288 pounds.
I'm wondering a little bit. We talked about the Wildcat package of Arkansas. You would think that would be a pretty good spot to run it with McFadden as a single wing quarterback. He could make a decision, and I'm sure could probably have done better than what they did there.
Right.
17-7 Wisconsin as they take over on downs with 1:34 remaining in the second quarter. John Stocco with 2 touchdown passes for Brett Bielema today, trying to win his first bowl game in his first year as a head coach. And Wisconsin has been brilliant in the final 2 minutes of halves this year. Those are phenomenal numbers. In fact, they scored one time in a game twice in the final 2 minutes of a first half. So they've got an opportunity here after taking over with a defensive play at their own 49-yard line, and they've got a 17-7 lead, and they still have 2 timeouts remaining. So here's a golden opportunity for the Badgers. They let the last one slip away on the interception by Keith Jackson. Stocco scans the field, tipped again, incomplete. Boy, that one could have been picked off too, as Jamal Anderson got a hand on that one.
Jamal Anderson is 6'6". You don't need to know how much he weighs. He's just 6'6", and then when he goes up, he's 7'12".
And he already has 2 sacks today for Reggie Herring's defense.
Brad, you mentioned it in the opening about neither team, both defenses trying to stop the defense, stop the running game. Neither team has run the ball that well, aside from that one long run by Felix Jones earlier in the ball game.
Stocco on second down, crossing pattern. Whoa, that's going to be a flag.
That's a 15-yarder.
Chris Houston got his hands tangled up in Paul Hubbard's neck.
That's the big guy, the 15-yard penalty.
Houston making the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, number 2 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
Chris Houston, the guy that got Hubbard up in the cage here, as you see Paul coming across the field. And right there, maybe couldn't get it out. You never know, but he definitely brought him down by the helmet. And luckily, Paul is okay.
You're right. Yeah, sometimes those things just happen, and you can't get your hand out.
Wisconsin only 10 rushes and 22 throws. That's unlike the Badgers that we know.
Well,
they're going to throw again. Stocco across the middle again, and Beckham. It's intercepted by Houston. So the guy that just made a mistake just made a huge play.
Well, first of all, this ball is thrown where there are 4 defensive backs. This ball should have never been thrown here. Take a look when Stocco goes back, and he's looking across the field. Now here it comes. Take a look at the defensive backs that are there. There's 1, 2 there on that side. Here comes the third, and there was another one in front. So they actually had 4 guys in the middle of the field.
How many passes did you ever throw in your career?
A lot. When I was in Little League, I was the quarterback. I was 3 feet tall.
So both times Wisconsin had an opportunity to add to their lead has resulted in interceptions by Arkansas. One by Keith Jackson, one by Chris Houston.
Well, you weren't going to say that was a good pass, were you?
Well, if he would have stuck that ball in there, you would have said, what a wonderful throw.
Yeah, but he didn't, so I said the other thing.
Casey Dick throws, and he completes it out to Johnson, and he's out of bounds. So while Marcus Monk has not had anything to show from his wide receiver spot, number 18, Robert Johnson, has 4 catches for Johnson in the first half.
Well, that's what they were. They knew they'd have one-on-one coverage with Johnson on the other side of Monk, and they knew that Monk would have a tough time with Ika Guanu, and then the free safety double him over the top.
Timeout taken with 30 seconds remaining in the half. Wisconsin leading by 10 in this Capital One Bowl, and there have been some good ones. Take you back this 2005. Do you remember this one? Iowa trailing LSU 25-24, seconds to play. Drew Tate 56 yards to Warren Holloway as time expired, and Iowa won 30-25. And we're still looking for the LSU secondary on that touchdown.
I think they thought the game was over and they left the field.
One of the great moments in Drew Tate's career at Iowa.
Hey, I got a did you know for you guys.
I like how you always spring them on us.
Yeah, I just talking with John Spencer back there, our official. He told me, you remember the punt that was blocked by Wisconsin's punt was blocked. The punter picked it up, and he threw the pass.
Right.
Did you know that he could have picked that ball up and punted it again, and everything would have been copacetic?
Didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Didn't know
That's
that.
a good did you know, Bob.
That was a good did you know.
Good job, Grease. Good job,
Way to
John.
go, John. Thanks for just telling Grease and not telling us. Way to go, John.
It made Bob look really good.
It's the last time you'll be in the booth with us, John. Okay?
Wisconsin almost jumped offside. Casey Dick in the shotgun in the final half minutes of the half. Johnson in motion toward the ball. Flags down. Casey Dick trying to run away from the pressure and incomplete. Again, a penalty marker at the snap.
Pass intended for Marcus Monk. Penalty flag on the field.
And let's see what the penalty is about. Flag was thrown way over in front of the Wisconsin bench. It's a motion penalty against Arkansas, and now they'll give Wisconsin their options here.
Illegal motion. Number 18 on the offense was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, first down.
So it'll be 1st and 15 as they'll walk it off. Aaron McFadden 67 yards on the ground. P.J. Hill 10 yards rushing. It's the 7th penalty against the Razorbacks. It's Felix Jones in the backfield. He's got 91 yards, and here he comes for more. He's going to have 100 by halftime if he doesn't have a touchdown. On his way all the way down to the 40-yard line. Second big run of the day by Felix Jones. One was a touchdown. This one gives Arkansas hope with 13 seconds left.
I like that kid.
Oh, I do too. You know, you talk about McFadden having that other gear. This young man also has that gear. Jones just comes around and he just outruns people. Look at this speed. Once he gets to here, now he turns it. And he's up the field. That was a good save.
Time out of the half.
Arkansas takes his final timeout. Tony Hugo, their captain and all-SEC left tackle, limped off the field. There's the numbers on Felix, including a 76-yard touchdown run.
You know, Felix Jones and Darren McFadden are both true sophomores.
That's right.
McFadden, who was All-American high school and Mr. Everything, committed to Arkansas. And then Felix Jones, who is from Tulsa, also committed after McFadden went there.
And neither, Houston Nutt says, has any kind of ego. They're roommates, they're best friends, they share the backfield, and they both had over 1,000 yards, and nobody cares who carries it. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes.
Coming up, don't forget, granddaddy of them all, two of college football's most storied programs meeting on the game's most prestigious stage. Pete Carroll lead the Trojans against Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines. 93rd edition of the Rose Bowl game, and that's coming up next here on ABC Sports.
What a great venue, the Rose Bowl. I played in the game when I was at Purdue. My son played in it when he was at Michigan, and then I broadcast the game when he was on the field winning a national championship. I got special vibes go through me.
Yeah.
Get some cold chills when you mention the Rose Bowl.
From the 39, Casey Dick pump fakes one way, comes back the other, trying to find Monk, and it's intercepted by Wisconsin. Inside the 5, and it's Zach Hampton, who's made some big plays on special teams, and now in nickel coverage, the senior with an interception with 4 seconds left in the half. So we've had 3 interceptions in about the last 5 minutes of play. 2 by Arkansas, now 1 by Wisconsin.
Let's take a look at the all 22. It's going to be a play straight down the sideline. The safety at the top left of the right of the screen is going to make the play.
And that's the end of the half. So Wisconsin with a lead in the Capital One Bowl at halftime. After beating Auburn a year ago, they've got a leg up on Arkansas, the SEC, in this 2007 edition. 17-7 as the Badgers head to the locker room with the halftime lead. Let's check in with Aaron.
Coach, your offense unable to score since the first quarter. What is Wisconsin's defense doing to counter your attack?
We're helping them a great deal by having illegal procedures and penalties, missed assignments. Can't do that. We get on track right here. We can put some points on the board.
What adjustments do you need to make for the second half to get your running game going?
There's a couple of things we can do to help our run. We hit the first one real good. Should have capitalized on the very first series. We didn't do that. Just everybody's got to play their part, do their job, and we'll score.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, head to the locker room, get the work done. We've got about a 20-minute halftime here with Wisconsin out in front in the Capital One Bowl by 10, 17-7. We're going to send it out west now. John Saunders, Craig, and Doug. Fellas. Back at halftime of the Capital One Bowl, Wisconsin leading Arkansas 17-7. Let's get a little flavor of the halftime and check in with the Arkansas Razorbacks marching band. We'll be back in Orlando in just a minute. Back at halftime, we saw the Razorbacks marching band. Now let's get a little flavor of Bucky Badger and the gang from Madtown. Here's Wisconsin's marching band at halftime. Well, the bands are pretty equal, but the football team from Wisconsin's on top here at halftime, 17-7. ESP Productions, Gene Mitchell and the Big Coconut Band and our All-American halftime cast with the cheerleaders, the dancers, the twirlers, the jump majors, the flags from all over the country. Let's listen in.
Going on vacation. I'm going on vacation and I'm never, never, never coming back. I've been wondering for so long why I'm working for somebody else. Saving up all my vacation just to have a little time to myself when I could be in Orlando, where even the work is played. I could be styling and living vacation every day. And I'm never, never, never coming back. Never coming on vacation. I'm going on vacation. going down south where I belong, where the days are warm and the summers are long. Well, we play and they play, and we sing and they sing, and we dream and they dream, and we dance and they dance. Well, they're out there having fun, dancing in the Florida sun. Rocking down in Orlando, you got party-loving people wherever you go. Well, we play and they play, and we sing and they sing, and we dream and they dream, and we dance and they dance. Well, they're out there having fun, dancing in the Florida sun. Well, they're out there having fun, dancing in the Florida sun.
Greetings from Orlando, from the All-American Halftime Cast. This has been an ESP production.
So the postcards from Orlando. Halftime just about over. Third quarter between the Hogs and the Badgers coming up next. Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl. And just about set to start the third quarter. Wisconsin leading 17-7 over Arkansas from the SEC. Welcome back. Happy New Year, everybody. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire. You've been goofy all year. You might as well be goofy one more time.
Can I wear it?
Sure.
I gotta take my thing.
We didn't know whether to get a Goofy or a Daffy.
Yeah.
Duck.
Either way, it fits, I think.
Oh, wait, I gotta take my headset
That's
off.
okay. You can get it later. In the meantime, pretty good ball game going on. There it is.
There you go.
And then you could just transform and see there's not a lot of difference.
No, I
There
don't,
really.
you know.
It's close. It's very, very close. The game's pretty close, too. We had 3 interceptions in 2 minutes and 22 seconds at the end of the half. Otherwise, we might have had more points.
Arkansas's got to get the ball to their big play wide receiver, Monk. He's been thrown to twice and no catches for the first half. They need some production.
We didn't see much of the Wildcat package offensively. I don't know if we'll see it in the second half or not.
You know, you talk about big play team Arkansas. They have 196 yards rushing in this game, 156 of them on 3 plays. They've got to get the ball in the hands of Jones and McFadden, period. I don't care.
They
Those
did
three
it
guys.
different ways in the first half.
5, 25, and 85, like you said.
The 3 5s have got to get involved for Arkansas out there to come from behind and try to win this Capital One Bowl. Wisconsin, John Stocco, 2 touchdown passes today. He has thrown a couple interceptions, but he's looked good. And you talk about having a stat that is out of whack. Wisconsin on the year with P.J. Hill averaging 176 yards on the ground today with the sacks included -3, and P.J. only has 10 yards on 6 carries. So that's definitely an out of whack stat if you're a Wisconsin fan.
And a lot of that has been like a 5-man defensive front for Arkansas, which has kind of opened up the passing game, which John Stocco, 2 touchdown passes first half, and Wisconsin's got a 14-point lead.
And they're going to get the ball first to start the third quarter.
Or a 10-point lead. My math is not too good.
No, you went to Purdue.
Here's the kick. And it's free right now. May have touched a Badger as well. And and what a whack at the 10-yard line that was by Adrian Davis. Big hit. Let's check in with Aaron.
Well, Brad, Wisconsin head coach Brett Bielema told me in the first half, Arkansas's 5-man defensive line simply frustrated Wisconsin's ground game. Obviously, P.J. Hill couldn't get involved, and he said that is going to change here in the second. We've talked about some adjustments that his team needs to make, and he said defensively, he thinks Casey Dick is going to try to get the ball, just as Grease mentioned, to Marcus Monk, but he said they're not going to stop with Darren McFadden, and Wisconsin looks to continue to swarm McFadden here in the second half, Brad.
All right, let's see how they do to start the third quarter from their own 10-yard line. It is P.J. Hill. P.J. bouncing off guys and picked up a tough 4 yards. Kevin Woods laid the wood to him there at the end of that first run of the ball game here in the third quarter. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. Look at that. 196 rushing yards for Arkansas and -3 for Wisconsin.
Turnovers came at the very end of the first half. It was clean up until the last 3 possessions.
And each team had it virtually the same amount of time. Second down and 6. Stocco hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. And it's Jamal Anderson who's really caused some havoc in that Wisconsin backfield. John Stocco's been looking at big number 92 all day long. So Anderson, who had 2 sacks in the first half, and now this time comes up batting down Stocco's pass.
Well, it looks like every time Stocco steps up to throw, Jamal Anderson, and remember, folks, he is 6'6". When he gets those arms up, I mean, Stocco is going to get the ball batted down.
Third down and 6, 50% for John today, 2 and 2. See what he does on this third down. Quick drop and the quick slant. Luke Swan, the intended receiver, broken up. Nice defensive job by Darius Vinette. And Wisconsin 3 and out to open the third quarter. So that's good for the Razorbacks defense.
Good defensive series for the Hogs. Just what they needed. They should get some good field position. Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator, going with a 4-man defensive front to start the second half.
DeBush will be at his own goal line. And remember, he had 1 blocked in this game and then actually retreated, picked the ball up and threw a pass. And Wisconsin survived that scare. See if the Razorbacks bring pressure here. Nope, they got the return set up this time. Reggie Fish backpedals to the 40. And Fish got across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. So excellent field position for the Razorbacks to open up their first offensive series in the third quarter. And you know that the guy that they want to get it to get something going offensively is this young man. Darren McFadden had a big run earlier in the ball game. We'll see if he can duplicate it when we come back.
Watching ESPN on ABC.
And this ESPN production is available on ABC HD, presented by Olivia. 17-7 Wisconsin, but Arkansas has got great field position with which to work after the Badgers were forced on a 3 and out to open the third quarter. At their own 47-yard line, Darren McFadden, the single setback, and he'll get the call here on first down. And Wisconsin's waiting for him. Zalewski with a tackle, no gain on the play.
Along with Mark Zalewski.
Casey Dick in there at quarterback.
It was Mustaine that time.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was Mitch Mustaine.
Yeah.
So we saw him in the first quarter on the third series, and now we see him again.
That was the only time we saw him on the third series. Casey Dick took the other 7 series.
Here's a pitch.
Jones
to the corner and bumped out of bounds right at the midfield stripes. Going to bring up third down and about 7.
You know, this team actually, and you said it in the beginning, Arkansas, they are so much better without their quarterback. I mean, it's a hard thing to say, but it's true. They need to go back and where they have McFadden taking the ball and also having Felix Jones back there with him.
You're talking about the Wildcat package where McFadden or Jones takes a direct snap from the shotgun from the center. And then all kinds of things happen.
Mustaine in there in the shotgun. On third down. Firing complete. Nice throw inside the 40. Breaking tackle, Cedric Washington. And he's got a first down at the Badger 38-yard line. As we check in with Aaron. Aaron?
Brad, you hate to see this happen, particularly to a senior. You're looking right now at free safety senior Roderick Rogers. He tore his MCL in the first half of the game. Obviously, he is done for the afternoon.
Boy, that's a sad note. Out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, played at the same high school as Reggie Ball, Georgia Tech's quarterback, who is not playing today in the Gator Bowl due to academic suspension, but Georgia Tech was leading the last time we saw. So, Roderick, we wish you the best with rehab. It's going to be a while. Mustaine going up on top for Monk. And good coverage back there. Ike Ekwonu, who has been pretty much glued to Marcus Monk all day long. The sophomore cornerback, number 6.
But they've got to continue to do that. Throw the ball to Monk. Just throw it out there. you know, these two quarterbacks, Dick and Mustaine, are not that accurate. So, you know, maybe one of them will hit and he can make a big play out of it.
He's been their big play guy. Came in having caught 49 passes for almost 1,000 yards. Number 2 in the SEC at 19.4 a catch.
11 touchdowns.
Here's the Wildcat package. McFadden fakes a handoff to Jones, takes it himself, and he goes to about the 35-yard line. And of course, you're probably going to see more of Darren McFadden doing that again next year. He'll be the leading candidate probably for the Heisman Trophy when the season starts next year.
I just, when you sit there and you look at this football team with guys like McFadden and Jones in the backfield, if they had a quarterback, I'm sorry, they just don't, but if they had a quarterback that was accurate and effective, how good these guys really could be.
Let's see how accurate they are on 3rd down here. 3rd down and 7 for Mustaine. Play action. Mitch sets up, getting some heat, throws, incomplete. Nice job defensively by Jonathan Casillas, the outside linebacker. So it's 4th down for the Hogs.
Cedric Washington came across the middle and Casillas hit him just as the ball got there.
This is not field goal territory for Arkansas. Jeremy Davis doesn't have that kind of range, so let's line this punter up again. Jacob, you're going to do that whole thing. You got your last one blocked. There you go. Oh, there we go. Here we go.
There's Wisconsin's defense. This just tells you how tough they are in the nation. 1st or 2nd or 3rd in several different categories.
That is their first time.
Wisconsin's going to take a timeout, so we're going to wait on the punt of Skinner with 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 3rd quarter, Badgers by 10.
ESPN's presentation of the Capital One Bowl on ABC. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Chevrolet, an American Revolution. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
It's Wall Street Plaza. 8 unique restaurants and bars lining the street in downtown Orlando, making Wall Street Plaza one of the premier entertainment destinations. This destination, the Citrus Bowl here in the Capital One Bowl, Wisconsin and Arkansas. And Arkansas with a 4th down and 7. Wisconsin took the timeout before the punt, maybe anticipating that it would be a fake.
Look at this now. They're moving around a little bit.
Skinner punts it a mile in the air.
What those?
Going to be a great kick if they can get to it. And did they? Yes. Can't do it any better than that. At the 1-foot line, Wisconsin will have to start. As we check in with Aaron Andrews.
Brad, one of these guys is going to go home with this, the beautiful Capital One trophy. And joining me right now, the executive vice president of Capital One, John Finneran. 7th year at Capital One, has been involved with this bowl game. Why do you keep coming back?
Aaron, Capital One is just thrilled to be involved with the winning tradition of college football. We're especially pleased to be partners with Florida Citrus Sports Foundation and their focus on the community here in Orlando.
John, thank you so much. Brad, these fans screaming behind me, the same thing you were screaming at the luncheon. Are we getting a Capital One credit card?
Yeah, we want those Capital One credit cards we don't have to pay on, John. Just send them to my home address. As Stocco tries to get a little bit of breathing room for the Badgers.
This is a key drive now for Arkansas defensively. They've had field position, their first possession out, and they didn't do anything with it. Now they punted the ball. They had a great special team effort, pin them back on the 1-yard line. Now 3 plays, hold them down there, and get the ball back.
And if they choose to throw, watch out for number 92, Jamal Anderson, or John Stocco could find himself with a safety situation. B.J. Hill's about 6 yards deep in his own end zone.
If they throw, it's probably going to be to Beckham, number 9.
And he's in motion. Here it comes. There it goes. And you called it, Bob. What a great job by the other number 9, Material Richardson, to make the stop. Let's head out to Pasadena. Here's John.
Brad, with this SportsCenter in-game, when Pete Carroll arrives for a game this time of year, it's usually for a piece of the national championship. This year, it'll be for Pac-10 Pride against the Wolverines. That's coming up when you're done, Brad.
All right, John David Booty getting off the bus and getting ready for the Granddaddy Mall following us. We've got 10:05 to go here in the third quarter. And now a dangerous time here for Wisconsin. 3rd down and 9 from their own 2-yard line. Stocco in the end zone. And he's going to get rid of it. So Wisconsin's going to have to punt now from deep in their own end zone.
He had some receivers open, but it took him a little longer, and Stocco didn't want to wait around and take a chance on getting sacked.
Now this is not the normal amount of room for Ken DeBusch. A little less real estate than he'd like to have, and you can see he's backed up right to his own end line.
Teams work on this all the time, though, don't they, Paul?
Yeah, they do. They really do. And the one thing that he has to do now is no matter what happens, he goes forward.
And he did. Not a great kick. Fish makes the fair catch at about the 33-yard line. You talk about great field position for Arkansas. Can they do anything with it? Down 10. We'll find out when we come back. Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl. That's always a good look when you're a Cheesehead. Right now the Cheeseheads by 10. 17-7 Wisconsin, but Arkansas has got the best starting field position they've had in a long time.
Mustaine back in.
Behind him is McFadden. Darren gets the call. Nice open field tackle by Stellmacher. Loss of 2.
You know, you were talking about Stellmacher in the first half. You talk about a guy that's going to whack you. I mean, he just took a run. He knew that I'm not going to wrestle with McFadden. I'm going to take him down right at the knees. And Stellmacher is that kind of guy. When he hits you, you are going down.
I think it's a good thing leaving Mustaine in the ball game.
He's not in there now. It's Wildcat time again.
It's a Wildcat time, yeah. All right.
McFadden will take the direct snap. Fakes the handoff, now tries to follow his blockers. And Wisconsin's waiting for him, and this time it's Zalewski.
Oh, man.
McFadden, 6th time he's either been stopped at the line of scrimmage or lost yardage. And Darren McFadden, maybe not so happy that time, but he does like playing that quarterback spot.
It was real fun too, you know, because I played quarterback all growing up. I was a quarterback, so it just brings back memories to me, so it's real fun for me.
That smile lights up a room, doesn't it? Not so fun that time. He looks like he's a little shaken up after that carry.
Arkansas gained 20 yards in the exchange of possessions. Now they need to make something happen.
Mustaine on 3rd and long, throws. Whoa. Tried to tuck it in there, and you talk about a collision. Stellmacher and Langford met at the wide receiver.
Well, Langford was going for the ball, so he was going to knock it down. Stellmacher was going to kill a receiver, which he did. They both accomplished exactly what they wanted to do. I'll tell you what, if I'm running downfield and I know where Stellmacher is, I might avoid him.
Yeah.
So they did nothing with the field position. In fact, lost 3 yards. 4th down and 13. Skinner would like to pin the Badgers back where he did on his last kick at the 1-yard line. If he can do it twice in a row, hangs it up there, might have a shot at it. And he did. Or did it get to the end zone? It hit the end zone line, and it's a touchback. 36-yard punt. And Wisconsin will work from its own 20-yard line. The Badgers' only loss this season, as we mentioned, as they come in 11-1, was to the Michigan Wolverines. Don't forget, you can vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance. Those are the 4 game-changing games that are still remaining, as you saw on the screen. You can log on to ESPN.com and search Pontiac and get your vote in there, because time is running out. You'll find out what school will win a $100,000 general scholarship fund contribution courtesy of Pontiac. From the 20. And a loss of 4. Neither team can get the ground game going, with the exception of the 1 long run by Darren McFadden and the 2 long runs by Felix Jones, but it's still only given them a touchdown.
You know what, both of these defenses they're both still playing 8 guys in the box, and they're, you know, the only one that's really taken advantage of it is Stocco, and he did that in the first half. But these guys are not changing their defenses. They haven't changed it for 2.5 quarters. They're just playing 8 men in the box. You are not going to run. You're going to have to throw the ball.
Second down and 13 now for John Stocco. P.J. Hill back in the Wisconsin backfield. Stocco rolling to throw if he can get away, and just got to throw it away. Nice pressure by Matt Hewitt. The Badgers 2006 was a very good year. Third of the Big Ten, tied with Michigan actually for second place. The preseason polls, nobody even had them ranked. In fact, they were tied with Arkansas for 31st in the country if you wanted to get into the top 35. They lost to Michigan in their conference opener, and then they haven't lost since. 8 straight wins, and the National Freshman of the Year in P.J. Hill, although it's not P.J.'s day today so far.
In fact, one of the knocks against Wisconsin was that they had a weak schedule. Michigan, the only ranked team on their schedule. Well, they've got Arkansas. Arkansas is a ranked team, and they're beating him pretty good right now.
Number 6 leading number 12, as you just saw. Here's a swing pass, and it's knocked down again. And this one's Antoine Robinson. Those two defensive ends really know how to get their hands in the way of the quarterback.
Stocco has, I bet they've knocked about 6 balls down so far in this ball game. And what's happening, I see, with Stocco, instead of going back, he's stepping up. And when you're stepping up in those big defensive ends.
John has only hit one of his last 10 passes, and Wisconsin's got to kick it away again. Third straight 3 and out for the Badgers, and DeBush has a little more room to kick this time. Reggie Fish waits for the Razorbacks on the other end. Nice punt.
Very nice.
Fish. Whoa! Took a shot and then took a shot. Took a shot at catching it without the fair catch, and Josh Nettles just laid the metal.
Is that called a double shot?
Ooh, a double shot of my baby's love. Whoa, what a hit.
Watching ESPN on ABC.
Reggie Fish is the smallest guy on either team, and this is what you call a fish out of water right here. Boom. What a hit by Josh Nettles.
Well, he doesn't weigh very much. I mean,
he's about 5'7", and he doesn't weigh much.
Exactly.
Felix Jones back in at the tailback spot for Arkansas. Mustaine at first down, throws complete, and Monk with a catch, and that is his first of the day.
First catch for Monk.
We got a penalty marker down at the end of the play. Monk, after he made the catch, kind of wheeled around on Ikaguanu.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 47 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
And so Wisconsin with a big penalty. Let's check in with Aaron.
Brad, 2 key offensive players missing for Arkansas out there right now. One, Darren McFadden, a sprained right shoulder. I was told he's getting taped up in the locker room, and they expect to have him back. Also, offensive lineman Tony Hugo, neck stingers, and they hope he can come back as well.
Hugo, their best lineman, the captain and the left tackle, has been in and out most of the game. And McFadden.
In fact, 4 of the 5 offensive linemen for that Arkansas crew made all conference.
Or better.
Or better. A couple of them All-American, a couple of the All-American teams. So that offensive line not doing much against Wisconsin, one of the best teams in the nation in whatever defensive category you want. They're number 2 against the pass. They're number 3 in scoring defense and total defense.
Second down and 8, pick up a 2 by Jones. Mustaine wants to throw it, does, completes it, but just a short gain to Felix Jones. It's going to bring up third down and long. Don't miss a special 2-hour Grey's Anatomy. Nominated for 4 Golden Globes. All new episode Thursday, January 11th. Television's hottest drama is about to explode. All new Grey's Anatomy Thursday, January 11th. Only on ABC. That's Greece's favorite show.
Got my vote.
Yep.
They'll always get your vote on that show. That's a great show now.
Arkansas has had great field positions the last 3 times and has come away with no points.
They're going to give it on the end around to Jones. Now cuts back to the middle and slips down at the 30.
Like a cat.
Like a cat, but only good for 2, and it's fourth down.
I'll tell you, Wisconsin really played that thing perfectly. Just watching this defense, and I know they have 8 and 9 guys up in the box, Grease, but one thing that they're not doing, their defensive ends and linebackers on the outside are staying home. Because they're really worried about McFadden and Jones. Will they try to get back to the outside? Just stay there. Those are the kind of running backs that may go one way, and if you just wait long enough, they're going to come back to you.
Houston Nutt knows full well they may not get too many opportunities this close. It's 4th down and 5, and they're going for it at the Wisconsin 30-yard line. Mustaine in the shotgun. Fires, and it's intercepted by Wisconsin. DeAndre Levy, the outside linebacker.
Well, that was a bad pass.
Well, no, it wasn't a bad pass.
Yeah,
it was just great defensive play. Levy had better position to intercept it than the receiver did to try and catch it. Here's Levy right in here. The route's going to just go to the outside. Levy just undercuts him.
It's a bad pass.
It wasn't a bad throw. It was a bad route.
Will you stop?
He got you.
Bad route. What do you know about quarterbacks?
I know that. I'll tell you, if you thought that was a good pass, you weren't one.
At the 28, Wisconsin takes over. And P.J. Hill, it's been an uphill battle for P.J. Flags flying late as he picked up a couple of yards to the 30. There's Levy, who had the interception. He and Zalewski, part of that linebacking core that I think is very underrated speed-wise. I think everybody gets the impression Wisconsin's always got a good defense, but they don't have speed. Those 3 linebackers can run.
Well, in fact, they said this is the fastest group of linebackers that Wisconsin has ever had.
So we await the penalty.
Bobby, can I show you something? I mean, you know, and I know you're in the Hall of Fame, you know, all over. You're in the high school, college, the NFL Hall of Fame. You're in my Hall of Fame, even though you nailed me last Friday.
There is no penalty on the play. The formation was legal.
Show me where the good route was, please. Or the bad route. You said it was a good route. Show me where this is good.
He's going to come up. He doesn't drive the guy off. He never threatens to run deep.
Well, and then show me where the good pass is.
Why am I helping you criticize me is what I want to know.
That's because you went to Purdue.
Why am I helping him? Why am I helping him?
Why am I helping you criticize me? I don't know, partner. I'm trying to help you over here. And Arkansas's defense equal to the task again. A loss of a yard by P.J.
Is it too late to get him on that crane down in the end zone?
We had him there. We should have kept him there.
Yeah.
So now Wisconsin's got 3rd and long. Brett Bielema trying to win his first bowl game as a head coach. 2nd youngest Division I head coach. 36 years old. Grew up in a town of 2,000 and 2,500 hogs.
I love that.
Walked down at Iowa, and for Hayden Fry became a captain by the time he was a senior. Choose a job you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life, and he loves this job. And boy, Wisconsin loves him back in his first year. I think there were some people that wondered if Barry Alvarez made the right choice by picking Brett Bielema, and it sure looks like a good one. Stocko's going to go down. Relentless pressure by Jamal Anderson. That's his 3rd sack of the day.
You know, Ness, let me tell you something. In this second half, and now we're going under 2:30 in this 3rd quarter, Wisconsin's had the ball for 12 plays. They have lost about 12 yards, and this is their 4th 3 and out.
You know, Anderson was a wide receiver a few years ago.
Can you believe that?
He gained about 65 pounds, and now he's a defensive end with, 13, 14 sacks.
Yep. He's got 14 now because he's got 3 today. DeBush should be returnable. Fish made the first man miss and then slid down as he got across the 35-yard line. 6-yard return following a 49-yard punt. Our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear Tires, featuring triple tread technology. Nice look in on the Citrus Bowl. Here the Capital One Bowl in Orlando. Bowlapalooza after the Champ Sports Bowl the other night. And the Capital One Bowl today. And then following us, you're going to see the granddaddy of them all, number 8 USC, number 3 Michigan, set to tangle the 93rd edition of the Rose Bowl game right here next on ABC Sports. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Aaron Andrews from Orlando. Darren McFadden taped up, as Aaron told us, and back with the pads on, still looking for the helmets.
Casey Dick back in at quarterback.
The quarterback rotation hasn't really mattered. Neither has played very well, and both are young guys, and they'll both get better. There's no doubt about that.
What was the last score, about an hour and a half ago?
Well, it was in the first half, we know that much, and we've only got a minute and a half left here in the third quarter. There's been 4 interceptions since we had our last score, as a matter of fact. Here's fake. Casey Dick, the play action throw, completes it out across the 40. Farrod Jackson.
It's just good defense. I mean, there was a fake. He faked the ball away and came back. And the defensive end was in his face, forced him to throw it. A lot of times you'll see that little guy sneaking out there that he's by himself. There was 2 defenders there to make the play.
Normally, that play probably would have gone to Peyton Hillis, and boy, they really miss him. Their fullback, they love Peyton Hillis, and he was their number 2 receiver. Has a deep thigh bruise that's really created a lot of problems, and he just hasn't been able to get healthy enough to play in the game. And they told us they were going to miss him, and I think they do. 3rd down and 6. Throws complete. First down and then some. Down to the 40-yard line. Lucas Miller with his first catch of the day.
The other guy they don't have, Brad, is Damian Williams, the freshman, the true freshman wide receiver who went to the same school as Mustaine and came over and says at the end of the year, I don't like, you're not throwing the ball enough. I'm going to transfer, so he's not here today.
There was a big to-do about several of the parents of some of the young players going into Frank Broyles, the athletic director's office, complaining about the direction of the offense as Darren McFadden goes inside the 35 to the 34-yard line.
Just too much emphasis on running.
Too much emphasis on running, felt the parents of Ben Cleveland, the mother of Mitch Mustaine, and you mentioned Williams, who's decided already to transfer. His parents were involved in that. And Houston Nutt's team won 10 games this year. I think he probably knows what he's doing, don't you?
Yeah.
You're watching the Capital One Bowl from Orlando, Florida at the end of 3. Well, they do it at Camp Randall Stadium. They might as well do it at the Citrus Bowl to start the 4th quarter. This has become one of the great scenes in college football. If you're ever in Madison, you start the 4th quarter, you got to jump. Brett Bielema says, you know, we do it at home, and I kind of went behind the scenes this week and says, is there any reason we can't do it here? So they got to do it here.
You do basketball. Is this something that started in the basketball arenas?
I think it started at the football games. Here's the first play of the 4th quarter. And we will not have a play as the officials halt things here. Arkansas has got it. 2nd down and about 5 at the 35-yard line. So here we are in the 4th quarter of the last game of the year, boys.
John, mind if I stand a little closer to you, partner?
Yeah, you come this way. You come this way.
I don't know about this guy.
Here's McFadden trying to cut it outside, and does. He's got a first down and knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Here's our final 15 minutes, boys. We've been together for 4 months, virtually 4 days a week. It's been fun. It's been goofy.
It has been that.
It has been that. You have something to say over there?
Anything or not?
4th quarter. We're trying to get you a place in the 4th quarter.
I know, but I can't find it. Let me just tell you something. In the 3rd quarter, Wisconsin, minus 8 yards in offense. Minus 8 yards.
Arkansas finally with a first down. And here's McFadden out of that Wildcat package with a direct snap. And he goes for about 6 yards. So this is as close as Arkansas has been now. They're finally back to the red zone.
How about the 3rd quarter? We had 7 possessions, 6 punts, and an interception.
Not good.
This game started out so well. I mean, it was really exciting. You know, we had 5 minutes of football. We thought, man, this is really good. And then it just went to 0.
Now Arkansas going with both guys in the backfield, McFadden and Jones together. Darren will take the snap, give it off to his buddy. Jones, left side. He's got it down. For Arkansas, down close.
Well, we've hit a big lull in this, like we mentioned, from the 1st quarter to now. But the bottom line is Arkansas is only 10 points behind, and if they can get this into the end zone or get some points, they're right back in this ballgame.
They did get the first down at the 12-yard line.
I'll tell you, it really does have to confuse you. When you're looking in that backfield and you know they don't throw the ball very well, but they've got two of the best running backs in the nation standing back there. You've got to stop both of them, not just one guy.
McFadden has thrown 3 touchdown passes this year. From the 12-yard line, it's Jones inside the 5. He's in, touchdown. 12-yard scoring run, second rushing touchdown of the day for Felix Jones.
Oh, I'll tell you, you talk about blocking in that offensive line. The left-hand side of that offensive line, that's Parker and number 74. Just take a look at the left-hand side of this offensive line. Watch the hole when McFadden hands the ball to Jones. Bang! They just cave everybody, or take them all to the outside, cave back into the inside, and that was Tubbs, number 69, the right side tackle. It's wide open.
Davis' extra point is good. As Bob said, only takes one play to be right back in the thick of things, and Felix Jones has got the Hogs hollering now. 63-yard drive, capped by Felix the Cat Jones' second touchdown of the day. 3-point ball game in Orlando.
Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl.
Pig Suey on ABC. Wisconsin just PU, I think, on those last 4 possessions. 4 punts.
Not very good field position to start from versus what Arkansas has had in the second half.
Let's see about the Badgers' sense of urgency now that their lead has been cut down to 3 as the ball comes off the tee. 14:04 remaining in the ball game.
Not only has Wisconsin not done anything, I mean, they've had the ball 4 times, 4 punts, but they've had it 3 plays and out each time.
The difference in the ball game right now is a Capital One Bowl record 52-yard field goal. No first downs in a long time. And a nice kick. Josh Nettles will take a knee. And Wisconsin will work from its own 20-yard line. The Knights of Prosperity. 5 regular Joes come up with a perfect plan to finance their dreams. They're going to rob Mick Jagger. They've got a plan. They got a theme song. They even have T-shirts. If they can't live the American dream, they're going to try to steal it. New comedy coming to ABC Wednesday at 9, 8 Central. So John Stocco comes out in the final quarter of his Wisconsin career. The senior, number 7, has got 2 touchdown passes today. And he's going to throw on first down. Across the middle, and big collision. The umpire and Hubbard got tangled up. And Hubbard goes down, so does the ump. And the pass is incomplete.
You know, you can't boo an ump. He's just, they really are. The umpire is trying to get out of the way. He's looking at the offensive line. He doesn't see Hubbard, who's coming along the line of scrimmage. Right behind in the middle, you'll see the umpire. Now watch this. He's moving up to get out of the way, and then Hubbard runs right over him.
Paul King, the umpire.
Nice coverage, though.
And that's who he was throwing the ball to. No doubt about it.
Second down at 10.
That just happens sometimes. The officials are just part of the field.
Here's a toss. P.J. Hill has not been able to get anything going offensively on the ground for Wisconsin, and still doesn't there.
You know, in this second half, Wisconsin, their average start is their own 16-yard line.
Well, more than that. They've had the ball 4 times in the second half, but you go back to their last 2 possessions of the first half, they had interceptions on both of those drives. One a 2-play drive, an interception, and one a 3-play drive. So that's 6 possessions that they have not done anything with the ball with, and 2 times was negative. So long time since his team has done something positive on offense.
John Stocco hasn't completed a pass in this half. Going to try it again. Maybe. In the pocket. Oh, big hit. Stocco sacked. Back at the 16-yard line. Matt Hewitt was there.
Make it 7 times, Bruce.
Yeah.
I mean, this offense is not clicking at all.
Well, they can't get their run game going. And sooner or later, if you cannot run, you can't pass.
DeBush now will have to punt near his own end zone again. 0 yards rushing in the 3rd quarter and here early in the 4th. Snap was a little wide. DeBush handles it. Hits a line drive spiral to Fish at the 37. Flags are down as going to be an illegal block in the back on the return. Will negate what little return yardage Reggie got there, as they're going to bring it back probably inside the 35-yard line or in that general vicinity.
That's a killer too, because you were going to get some good field position.
Yep.
Houston talked about that with Aaron just before, when he was going in at halftime, about the penalties.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 20 on the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And they back it up with the penalty to the 31-yard line. With 12 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the ball game, Arkansas down 3, but they've got the ball back when we return.
ESPN's presentation of the Capital One Bowl on ABC, brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Allstate, good hands, and Cadillac. The best Cadillac stories aren't just lived, they are shared. Share yours online with us.
Lake Eola Park, popular destination, downtown area. You go there and hang out with the kids at the playground, maybe even take in a concert or a play in the Walt Disney Amphitheater. 11:52 remaining. The two guys we talked about at the top of the show not having the kind of seasons they had, especially not P.J. Hill. 14 yards on 11 carries. Here's the end around of McFadden. Got his quarterback out there trying to block for him, and Wisconsin was reading it beautifully. And Zach Hampton, who's made some nice plays today, including an interception, makes a nice open field stop.
Well called, partner. Take a look at the two 1,000-yard rushers for Arkansas. What they've done today, it's been Jones, the cat, with 150 yards and only 88 for McFadden. I think that the Badgers got number 5 on their mind and not 25.
Second down and 9. Casey Dick, a quick drop in the throw, out complete to the 40, trying to spin away, and doing so, Cedric Washington. Nice second effort by Cedric Washington. He's got it for 18 yards out to the 50.
You know, if you're going to stop the run, Ness, and if that's what you're thinking about, 8 men in the box, and you're going to play man-to-man on the outside, you've got to get up on this guy. You've got to be hitting this guy at the line of scrimmage. You can't give this much room to Washington, which they did, and it cost them. They got the ball to the 50-yard line.
Just poor tackling by Langford, the corner.
And now it'll be McFadden and Jones together again in the backfield.
Arkansas with a lot more offensive yardage than Wisconsin.
Jones all wrapped up this time. Maybe got a yard. Jonathan Casillas made the tackle. So Wisconsin had a 17-7 halftime lead. The Badgers did absolutely nothing on offense in the third quarter, and now they've given it back via the punt here near the 10-minute mark to the Razorbacks, who scored a touchdown the last time they had it, courtesy of Felix Jones' second score of the day. So Felix has the big day going with the 2 touchdowns, and now Arkansas with a chance, if they can keep this drive going, to take the lead.
And here's Arkansas with 2 tight ends. And Casey Dick is back in the game at quarterback.
Quick drop, pump fake, and then coming back the other way to Monk. Flags all over the place as Monk is out of bounds. But again, the penalty markers came from the secondary, which can't be a good sign for Wisconsin's defense. Unless Marcus Monk pushed off, and that's a possibility, I guess. We'll let the officials straighten it out for us.
Before the ball was thrown, holding, number 6 on the defense, 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
Jack Akagwanu, the stellar all Big Ten corner, with the holding call. Let's check in with Aaron.
Brad, Wisconsin not used to this heat, and worse, the humidity. The training staff working diligently trying to get these sports drinks out to these players. When guys were on defense here on the sidelines trying to stretch them out, same thing for the offensive linemen. A lot of them stretching out, trying to take in all the drink. And we know these Wisconsin fans and the players don't like the heat. They're all in the pool.
That's right. When the Wisconsin offensive line went out to the pool the other day, And Big Joe Thomas and those guys got in the pool. The pool overflowed. There were small children going over, being almost swept away.
No, it wasn't quite that bad. Was it,
It was
Pards?
close. It was close.
That's the whole offensive line got it.
2nd down and 9, and the clock winding down to the 9:40 mark. Arkansas and Wisconsin territory.
Ikaguanu going over to cover Monk. He's been on him all day.
You see 4.12 yards per play for Wisconsin. Casey Dick's got a man open across the middle. Going to be short of the first down, but again, there are flags all over the field. One more time.
Pass complete to Monk. Friendly flag on the play.
They're going to call holding on Arkansas.
And that is the call. Paul said, and they'll bring this back, and it'll be 2nd down and about 19 by the time they walk it off.
And this is not unusual.
Holding, number 69 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat 2nd down.
This is not unusual for Arkansas. They were one of the more penalized teams in the conference.
Zach Tubbs, that time the right tackle, with a holding call. Wisconsin only 158 yards of total offense, but they've still got the lead. And again, a 52-yard field goal, a Capital One Bowl record, is the difference right now. Just shaded on the Badgers side of the 50. Arkansas 2nd down and 19. Casey Dick, the play action, and fires complete. Nope, in and out of the hands of Monk. And if he'd have caught that one as he was wheeling to go to the outside, he might have had a whole bunch of yardage.
Had single coverage up there on Ikaguanu, and he got loose, got free for a second, and just dropped the football.
And that was a good throw.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you can't say enough about it. When you fake it to McFadden, it just freezes the entire defense. The defensive linemen, the linebackers all kind of stop to see if McFadden has the ball. That time, Casey Dick rolls back out, and he had a wide-open Monk.
Now the Badger fans trying to make some noise for their defense on a 3rd down and 19. Screen pass. Jones has got it with a wall in front of him, but he got taken off his feet at the 44-yard line. Ben Strickland was there. So was Mike Newkirk.
You know, I applaud, and I've been talking about this most of the game. I've been applaud the Wisconsin defense. It's the outside guys, they stay home. They are really disciplined. And in Arkansas, they have in this since Wisconsin's first quarter, they've been very disciplined.
Behind Jacob Skinner as he'll punt. And again, a possibility that they'll down it inside the 5. Nope, it got to the, did it get to the goal line?
The ball just has to break the plane of the goal line.
And it's a touchback.
And it's a touchback.
That's the 2nd time we've had one that close. 8 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the ball game. Wisconsin's got the lead in the ball when we come back. Welcome back to Orlando and the Capital One Bowl. Our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear Tires, featuring triple tread technology. You're looking in on the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Wisconsin leading 17-14 with just over 8 minutes now remaining in the ball game.
Well, they have to do something here. They just cannot keep giving the ball back to Arkansas. And let them, especially in the great field position Arkansas has had.
Wisconsin's had 15 offensive plays in this half, minus 10 yards. Stocco on play action. Look out for you-know-who. He got away from him and throws out of bounds as the pressure again was coming from Jamal Anderson. Let's talk about linemen. Let's take a look at Joe Thomas in the pits, Bob.
Joe Thomas probably going to be the first offensive lineman taken in the draft. Top 5 pick, going against, well, some of those good rushers. Robinson on one side, Anderson comes over, rushes against him some. Big guy, can move his feet. I really like the way he moves his feet.
You mentioned that before. He's got great feet for a big guy. This guy's over 300 pounds. He just move it.
2nd down and 10 for Wisconsin. Stocco back, the quick throw. Swan trying to make a diving catch. And Bob, you've got more, I know, on Joe Thomas.
Take a look at Thomas. I love the way he works his feet. Everybody's big and strong at this position, but watch his feet as he moves the man out of the hole. The fullback goes through, the guard and the running back goes through. Something that separates the All-Americans from the rest.
And sometimes you got to know how to hold a little bit, too.
Well, they all hold.
Joe just got engaged about 3 weeks ago to his new fiancee, Annie, former Wisconsin women's basketball player. I think Annie's about 6'5", and Brett Bielema says, I'm already recruiting the kid, and they probably won't have one for a long time. So he got 6'5" and 6'8". He knows if he gets his first male born, he'll be a left tackle.
Yeah. Boy, you know, I'm going to tell you what.
A great
you want to
catch,
talk about
was.
a great catch by Beckham. I mean, this was absolutely sensational. This ball is thrown down and away. He goes down. Not only does he catch the ball, but then he gets his balance back and picks up the first down. Here comes a throw from Stocco. Look where this ball is where Beckham has to go. Down. He's down. Now he's got it. Watch this. Watch him get his balance. He stops. Now, back upfield. I've got to get to the 30-yard line to get a first down, and he does.
The first down for Wisconsin since there was 1:20 left in the second quarter.
Don't think that their defense isn't happy that they got that either.
Stockwell to stay in under heavy pressure. Flags down. And again, in the secondary, Material Richardson, who was covering Paul Hubbard, I think is going to be the guilty party.
You know, when your offense is inept and doesn't stay on the field very long, the defense doesn't get long to rest.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Pass interference, number 2 on the defense. Roughing the passer, number 99. Penalties are declined.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean decline?
It's 2 penalties, both on Arkansas, unless we didn't hear them right.
Correction. The roughing the passer was on number 99 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Keith Jackson Jr. with a penalty. Arkansas's 10th of the game, a season high for them.
Yes, I was going to say, I know that, you know, the Wisconsin like to give him a break.
I don't think you decline a roughing the passer penalty.
No, let's not decline that, baby. That's 15 yards. Hello.
And John Stocco just said to the referee, Dennis Hennigan, he says, ref, you got to go pick up your flag. It's back there by the 20. We don't want another flag on this one.
These quarterbacks, they're in control. They know what's going on with the game.
Don't forget, Michigan and USC will be coming up next in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Here we still have 7 minutes remaining. Wisconsin in front, but by only a field goal. Stocco, pressure coming. And down he goes again. Antoine Robinson, Keith Jackson, they put the pressure on. That's the 5th sack today for Arkansas.
Yes, P.J. Hill, the running back for Wisconsin. His season low was at rushing 50 yards against Illinois. Today, you know how many he's got? 14 yards rushing.
It has not been P.J.'s day.
In Arkansas, they have not changed their defense. They're just stopping the run.
They don't change their defense. They
not at all.
At 31 sacks for the season, Arkansas did. That's second best in the conference.
And 5 more so far today.
Right.
Stocco going to loft one out there. Dangerous throw. It's intercepted. But there's a penalty marker down. Now, will there be a pass interference when Kevin Woods was in the process of getting the interception?
No, I don't think it's going to be with Woods. I think, yeah, you're right, Brad.
No, the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. You're right.
Darius Vanette was the other man back in coverage.
Because the ball was in the air, and you can't put your hands on the guy when the ball's in the air.
Pass interference, number 4 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
Ooh, there's one angry coach. And letting the side judge know it. Here's Swan.
Ball's in the air right now. That's Vanette, number 4, and that's who they called it on. Once the receiver gets past the defensive back, you're not supposed to be able to touch him. as soon as the ball's in the air, then you can't put your hands on him or slow him down.
You see the way Stocko's throwing? Bob, these big guys are in his face. He's throwing the ball up over instead of getting that arm motion straight ahead.
Hill inside the 40 to about the 38. The ball is out. Arkansas's got it back. Matero Richardson with a fumble recovery.
P.J. Hill is going to want to forget this day.
So they didn't get the interception, but they get a fumble anyway. There's something that's happened to P.J. Hill in the latter stages of the season. Just ripped out of there.
Good, nice
He was
job.
trying to cover it. It was a great job of ripping it out by the defense.
Great job.
So Arkansas's got another life with 6 minutes to go. Well, Houston, not in the coaching staff on the sideline, did not like the pass interference call on what would have been an interception, and then on the ensuing snap, P.J. Hill fumbled, and it's recovered by Matero Richardson, and Arkansas's got the ball back at the 40-yard line. They've got all their timeouts remaining. They trail by 3. Field goal to tie. Touchdown might win it. They've got a dangerous guy in the backfield right now. And it's McFadden, but he's only got a yard. Jason Chapman made the tackle immediately for Wisconsin.
You know, every time they hand the ball out to McFadden going up the middle or even on a fake, he's getting whacked. Because they're not even taking a chance that they're faking to this guy. They just figure that as soon as he lines up and he comes straight up the middle, they're going to hand it to him.
And now we got another lineman down. Stephen Parker, the left guard. Big fella out of Mandeville, Louisiana. And he's still not up. Trying to get to his feet and finally does. He'll have to go out for at least a play if he's okay. Don't forget, college football coming up. GMAC Bowl coming up on Sunday night on ESPN at 8 o'clock. Frank Solich, former coach at Nebraska, now has got the Ohio Bobcats in that matchup with the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Second down and 9. Casey Dick, nice play fake, wanted to go for the home run, and now he's being pressured, and down he goes. First sack of the day by Wisconsin, and boy, was it a big one by Chapman.
That's back-to-back big plays by Chapman, the defensive tackle. Number 91 right in the middle.
Boy, this shows agility. Look at him. He makes sure that the Dick has to bring the ball down, and then he runs him down.
You know, Jason Chapman last year in the Capital One Bowl had a huge forced fumble against Auburn. That sack was maybe as big in this 2007 edition. 3rd and 21. Down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Robert Johnson.
You know, Ness, when we talked to the coaches the other day and some of the interviews with the players, almost all the players said this is going to be a physical game.
Yeah, they did.
And we knew it was going to be a physical game at the line of scrimmage. The lines, both offensively and defensively for both teams. These guys have been hanging in there all day.
So now Arkansas forced to punt again.
My partner would say the big uglies. They're going to be some paint swapping going down there.
Jacob Skinner to punt. Zach Hampton waits for Wisconsin on the other end. Not a good kick, but it almost hit a Wisconsin player. Now it takes a tremendous Razorback bounce all the way down inside the 15. There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. So hold everything. Would end up being a 57-yard punt unless Skinner has to do it again.
57-yard punt.
Well, Matthew Shaughnessy came off and said it's against Arkansas.
He's right. A face mask penalty on a punt is not something you see every day, and that's going to be the 11th penalty as they continue a season high of miscues when they don't want them in a bowl game.
Boy, this is going to hurt Arkansas because they had
Personal foul.
Wisconsin
Face mask.
pinned.
Number 51 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, 4th down.
Boy, I tell you know how big this thing is could be. Look at this. They had him almost at the 10-yard line.
Now they've got a punt again from pretty near their own goal line. And it was the long snapper, Brett Good, who picked up the penalty. So now here's Jacob Skinner right at his own goal line.
All right. Skinner's getting himself lined up, and then the wing guys up on the line of scrimmage, Grease, you pointed out, they line up just like he does.
They bring in the extra protection. And again, just an end-over-end punt. And Hampton maybe should have thought about fielding that one, but this one doesn't do near the damage. As Paul said, they gained a lot on that one. They gained about 30 yards on that exchange.
Watching ESPN on ABC.
Back at the Capital One Bowl, Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator of the Razorbacks, looking on. Spent a lot of time at Clemson, was in the NFL with Don Capers, and now back in second year as a defensive coordinator, trying to bring some pressure on Stocco and Hill. They certainly wrapped P.J. Hill up all day long, and they have also wreaked havoc on the pocket of Wisconsin, and in particular John Stocco. It's come from everybody. Ernest Mitchell, Keith Jackson, Jamal Anderson, Antoine Robinson, including an interception by Keith Jr. So it's been a tough day for John Stocco, but he had 2 touchdown passes early in the ball game, and that has held up for a Wisconsin lead of 17-14 here with 3:36 to go.
I like talking to the defensive coordinator, Reggie Herring. He walked into our room the other day, the meeting. We said, Coach, how are you? It's very nice to see you. Sit down. And he talked for 40 minutes, and we didn't have a chance to even ask a question.
It was a monologue.
I think Reggie would still like to get that old Florida State uniform out of mothballs and put it on and go out there himself.
It's beautiful. Hey, Reggie, how are you? Let me talk to you for an hour.
Usually these things are back and forth. Sometimes we have to pry it out of some of these coaches. Reggie sat down. He just said that it was a monologue. You saw that graphic that was up about the penalties. Arkansas with over, 125, 123 yards in penalties. Only 25 yards in penalties for Wisconsin. 35 yards, excuse me.
Reggie's not saying jab him in the eyes. He's saying use your eyes.
No, he's saying we need the football. Go for the football. They were near last in the conference in takeaways this year, though.
2nd down and 9. John Stocco over the middle's got his man's. Beckham, 1st down and then some. Spinning his way inside the 35, and Beckham's all the way down to the 31-yard line. 24-yard pass play to the big play receiver at tight end, who led the country for tight ends in receiving yardage, and none bigger for Travis Beckham than that one.
You know what's amazing about it? And the coaching staff of Arkansas said to us, the guy we really have to cover is Beckham, number 9. So we're going to put our number 9, Richardson, on him. This is the guy we have to stop. Beckham has had a solid day.
He had 56 receptions coming in, and that also led all tight ends in receiving in the country.
He's added 5 more today for 82 yards and a touchdown. And now he's got his team down to the Arkansas 31-yard line. Back to P.J. Hill they go. A little bit of room on the inside for P.J. This time picked up about 4. Richardson made the stop, and now Wisconsin with the drive going. The clock is their ally now that they're down in Arkansas territory. Andy Crooks, the other tight end, limping off right now for Wisconsin. And Arkansas has taken their 2nd timeout with 2:53 remaining. Key plays in this ball game, made field goals and missed field goals. Special teams are so important. Key plays in this game, a missed field goal by Davis. Brett Bielema excited about that, and even more so that his own kicker sets a Capital One Bowl record from 52 yards out. That's the difference in the ball game, 17-14.
Both of these teams are in pretty good shape as far as players returning next year. In fact, Wisconsin, 16 of the 22 starters are back next year, and they have 11 freshmen or sophomores that are starters.
The second youngest team in the Big Ten, Indiana being the youngest, and Wisconsin next in line. Don't forget the Rose Bowl is coming up next. The granddaddy of them all, John David Booty, Chad Henne, the two quarterbacks. And of course, they've gotten together several times, those two teams, in the Rose Bowl. Third appearance in the last 4 years for both. Should be a beauty.
Arkansas is down to their last timeout.
Behind P.J. Hill in the I backfield of Wisconsin. P.J. following his fullback, bouncing off. There's a good run. He didn't get to the first down marker. Kevin Woods made the stop, but he got 5 more inside the 25 to the 23.
You know, kind of a subplot to all this Big Ten SEC stuff with Florida going to the championship game instead of Michigan against Ohio State. There's these matchups between the Big Ten and the SEC. Wisconsin playing Arkansas, and then earlier today, Penn State of the Big Ten beat Tennessee. So everybody's kind of looking at these things and say, well, these conferences that are going head-to-head, is the Big Ten going to win them? Is the SEC going to win them? Should have Florida have gone? Should Michigan go? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Well, the Big Ten hadn't won a bowl game until today when Joe Paterno and Penn State won one. Big East is 2-0. Of course, they've got big games left coming up.
SEC is 3-2. Even if it's 4 games to go, you're right.
There's a measurement here for the first down, and I think they have it.
The forward progress. PJ took a big hit right about at the 21-yard line. You can see the yellow line, but the real chain is coming out to join Dennis Hennigan and company. And this is a huge first down for Wisconsin if they get it, and they do. Badgers have got a first down. PJ's biggest run probably. he's cheering himself.
It's been a tough day for him.
It sure has. P.J. Hill, the freshman of the year in college football, who had over 1,500 yards rushing. His longest run today, 5 yards. But the one he just had is the biggest run of the day because it's a first down. Wisconsin, they lead 17-14. The clock is in their favor with 2 minutes and now less remaining. And Arkansas can only stop it one more time. They've got 1 timeout left.
All the Badgers need here is to make a first down, and they can run the clock out.
2 tight ends set now as P.J. Hill just want to hold on to the ball. And he's going to lose yardage.
Yeah, didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. 5-man defensive front has really given Wisconsin trouble today.
And there's Arkansas's last time out. It's the last time they can stop it, barring someone going out of bounds or an incomplete pass, which nobody's expecting. And Joe Thomas, the big guy out there, the left tackle with his helmet off, and he's just gotten everybody around him as if to say, boys, you know what? We're going to win this game. Just hold on to the football.
You know, this has really been a great line play football game, both offensive lines, defensive lines. I mean, these guys, there were 2 or 3 long runs in this ball game by Arkansas, not by Wisconsin. But I'll tell you what, these guys on the lines are tired. They'll be the first guys to shake hands with each other.
Well, Barry Alvarez couldn't be at the game, but his team, it appears, he, the athletic director, and his first-year head coach, Brett Bielema, it looks like Wisconsin's going to be 9-3 in bowl games in their last 12. This is their 12th bowl in the last 14 years. And it would be a 12-win season for the first time in school history. And Brett said to us the other day, that means a lot to my kids, especially the seniors. So let's see if they can hold on to the lead in the ball here. P.J. Hill cuts back, still dragging people with him down to about the 17-yard line.
By number 6, Brandon Kelly.
John Stocco has been named the most valuable player of this Capital One Bowl.
What did Barry Alvarez say about Bielema, he's a rising star in our business.
Yep. Well, 12-1 is not a bad way to start things off.
Who ever heard of Brett Bielema before Barry named him? I mean, he was a defensive lineman. He was in college. He was an assistant coach.
Well, I just like the game the other night, the game we did, and Bielema came up to the booth, and you're interviewing him, Brad, and I think one of the great questions of all time. So here he is, a young guy, his rookie season as a coach, and you said to him, okay, you're 11-1, now what?
Well, for right now, at least it's 12-1, and you'll work from there, I guess. Well, our season winding down, too. It's been a pleasure having Aaron Andrews with us and Bonnie Bernstein much of the year. Paul McGuire, Bob Greasy, Bob Goodrich, our producer, Larry Cavallina, our director, Pat McGrath, our statistician, Clint Deans, our spotter, and the whole crew. We got a great group, and we've had a blast all season long.
Brad, I just want to say I've enjoyed working with you.
Thanks, partner.
And I've been working.
You didn't say anything about him.
Paul, no, I meant Paul.
I agree. I've just enjoyed working with Clint and Pat.
Final 14 seconds now, and then Wisconsin will be the Capital One Bowl champs. So the Big Ten and the SEC, maybe the misconception, is it power against speed? Well, Penn State's beat Tennessee, and now Wisconsin's going to beat Arkansas. I guess the biggest question is, can Ohio State keep it perfect and beat Florida for the national championship? John Stocco has been knocked down and beat up a little bit by the defensive line of Arkansas that's played so well. But remember what he did in the first half. Perfect pass right there to Hubbard, and then comes back and finds his tight end Beckham, who got a foot down just in the corner. And those two touchdown passes have made the fifth-year senior out of Richfield, Minnesota, as the Capital One Bowl MVP.
Let me ask you a question now. We got Wisconsin beating Arkansas.
Yeah.
We had Penn State beating Tennessee.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Now, what if Michigan just blows out USC today,
and then
Florida wins, but they only win like 10-7.
Oh boy.
Or 7-3.
Yeah.
Should Michigan be, an AP national champion?
Well,
before.
You just set yourself up for a question that nobody can answer. At least we don't have to, because we're out of time, or we're going to be.
Ohio State's not going to lose, boys.
Arkansas is going to get one last chance here.
Yeah, and they know they've got to get out there quickly because the ball starts on a change of possession with the official referee signal.
Wisconsin used 4 minutes and 5 seconds. They just didn't use the last 6 seconds. They tried by Stocco scrambling around. And now with trips down to the bottom there, they're going to try a Hail Mary here. And Wisconsin's got people 60 yards deep in coverage. Here comes the ball from Casey Dick. The jump ball and batted down by Zach Hampton, who had an interception earlier. And there's a happy rookie coach. The Wisconsin Badgers survive the comeback by Arkansas, and Brett gets a bat. Winningest team now in school history, 12-1 for Wisconsin. 17-14 is the final score, and now the players, like the fans, get to do the jump. And Zalewski, one of those guys that Brett Bielema loves, and one of the guys that will be sorely missed from that Wisconsin defense. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Well, Brett, in your rookie season, Brett Bielema, this team, the winningest team in Badger history, how does it feel?
Feels great. It's a reward for a lot of great hard work by my staff, my coaches. We got the greatest fans in college football. It's a special feeling because this was a true team victory. We were playing a lot of people out there who usually don't play for us against a great team. I got to give my hat off to Arkansas. They did a great job of competing. We knew it was going to be a fourth quarter game, and we made it that way, and we won.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
So a happy first-year coach. He wins his first bowl game here in Orlando, the Capital One Bowl, 17-14. Our congratulations to the Badgers of Wisconsin. Don't forget, it's USC and Michigan coming up next in the 93rd edition of the Rose Bowl. The Wolverines and the Trojans. For Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Aaron Andrews, Brad Nessler, so long from Orlando.